Manchester City lineup with Ederson in goal, Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Rodri and De Bruyne, Mahrez, Jesus and Foden. Real Madrid, Courtois in goal, Carvajal, Eder Militao, Nacho and Mendy, Modric, Casemiro and Kroos, Valverde, Benzema and Vinicius. The referee tonight, Daniele Orsato, the Italian official who took charge of Real Madrid's defeat in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final last season at Chelsea, and City will hope that that is an omen. Well, this is some venue. 5-tiered bowl, the bottom tier of which is largely covered as a part of UEFA partial closure of the stadium. It is only partial. You'd never know that there could possibly be any empty seats here at all, such as the intensity of the noise. The referee in his light blue shirt just looks across to the officials on this near side and ready for the signal to allow the players to take the knee. Real Madrid in all white, and they'll be kicking from left to right in this first half. Manchester City in their change kit, and the City players take the knee now to underline the message that there is no room for racism. It was the first leg of Wash with quality, punctuated by the regular sound of ball on net, a spectacle with few rivals in this or any other European campaign. Real Madrid have been twice down but not out within this extraordinary run against the Manchester City side, who leant over them whilst they're on the Etihad canvas but who've yet to supply the knockout blow. These two heavyweights now returning for round two for the right to meet Liverpool in the 2022 Champions League final. Destiny awaits, and Andy Townsend, we're underway.
We're underway, Jim. It's going to be a special night. Could be a long night. You never know. You come to this stadium, expect the unexpected. Here is Vinicius Junior already driving down that left channel.
Liverpool last night conceding a goal inside the opening 3 minutes, and Manchester City have to make sure that they don't see their aggregate lead wiped out entirely in the opening exchanges. Vinicius has won a free kick down by the corner flag, and he's done his best Simon Rattle impression there, conducting the crowd, trying to get a little bit more volume, if anything were possible in that regard.
Yep, all the big guys coming up for this. It's going to be whipped in by Toni Kroos's right foot, right under that bar.
Nacho is standing right in front of Ederson in the near post area. Valverde on the edge of the 6-yard box. Benzema near the penalty spot. Vinicius is making a run as well. It's fired in towards that near post area, but Rodri got a touch on it to get it away. Real Madrid work it back towards halfway. Mendy put under pressure, decided he wanted to turn. Jesus almost made that look a foolish decision, but he couldn't catch him in possession. And Mendy, he's the cousin of Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper, getting it back to his goalkeeper, the former Chelsea keeper Courtois. Foden picking it up in the midfield, and never looks phased despite his tender years. Here's Cancelo working it back to his goalkeeper, and Ederson just takes a touch and then swings the left boot through it to get it forward. Foden will chase that, but Eder Militao can chest it down on the edge of his own penalty area, forced to take it by Foden's pressure down towards his own dead ball line, and he hooks it away out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester City left, down by the corner flag. 2 gone, 0-0.
And when you hear that chorus of boos, when you hear that, that's because City have got good possession, decent possession. So whenever they're on the ball and they're passing and they're probing and they're keeping it and they're making those white shirts chase them, you'll hear the fans, they'll boo, and it will get louder and louder.
Foden taking the throw on the left-hand touchline from Cancelo, and then returning it to Cancelo, who fires it in, and it's off Eder Militao, out of play for the first corner.
Yep, good work there from João Cancelo in that left-back position. Just dips towards the byline, whips it in with his left foot, it's blocked, it goes out for a corner. Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne are both coming out.
There's the blonde-haired De Bruyne that just makes his way over, looks as though he's going to be the one that will fire it in swinging, but the Foden now raises his left arm, and it is Foden that strikes it, and away swinging towards the far post, heading back into the fray, but not quite effectively enough. Rodri's then going for it on the edge of the penalty area. Benzema can bring it down and try and get it away from Real Madrid, and he's sought temporary sanctuary in the midfield, but wasn't able to keep the ball for long, and Rodri will play it now out towards the Manchester City right-hand side again. Chance to try and deliver with Foden waiting on the edge of the D. It's worked into the feet of Bernardo Silva. Jesus' pass didn't quite get there, and Modric is going to be able to bring it away and find Karim Benzema. 3.5 gone, 0-0. 4-3 Manchester City lead on aggregate. Haven't had the electric start tonight that they had in Manchester 8 days ago. Vinicius works it wide for Dani Carvajal, who's right-footed ball in. He's headed over the bar by Benzema. Presentable opportunity for a man of his quality, only about 9 yards out. Offside flag up anyway, actually. Yeah. So he would have been denied his 43rd goal of the season had it gone in. 0-0.
But just a lovely switch from Vinicius Junior from the left side over to Dani Carvajal down the right. And a nice clip delivery, early ball in for Karim Benzema, exactly as he wants it. He was just fractionally offside. Flag went up after the striker had made contact with his head.
Edison whacks it away left-footed to restart play. De Bruyne bringing it down and doing well to get the better of Valverde in the midfield, and then slipping it through for Gabriel Jesus. Jesus back towards De Bruyne to his left. Silva taking it into his stride, and still he goes, and it's just knocked away from him. But play does stop. The referee spotting an infringement, a handball in there, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Real Madrid on the edge of their own penalty area. 0-0.
When they connect those passes through the midfield, Manchester City, they always look so dangerous and so devastating. De Bruyne it was who just resisted the challenge initially from Casemiro, then he found Bernardo Silva, who danced his way through a little space, very nearly got in before the referee decided there was an infringement.
Ball's back with Thibaut Courtois inside his own penalty area for Real Madrid. Won 3 of the last 4 games, including a 4-0 victory against Espanyol, which won them the league title in the league match that they've played since the two met last week. Modric picking it up now and finding Vinicius. Vinicius taking on Kyle Walker. The first instalment of a battle that could be absolutely crucial tonight. Stones and Fernandinho that played at right back in the first leg. Walker's got it back here for Ederson, who doesn't half take his time. He's got a real languid manner about him anyway. He got it away. Vinicius closing him down as if his life depended on it, and very nearly able to turn Ederson's clearance past him into his net. No harm done from a Manchester City perspective, and Bernardo Silva has the ball on halfway for Pep Guardiola's men. Silva working it out to the right-hand side here for Riyad Mahrez, able to bring it forward. Front 6 unchanged for Manchester City today. If you're just joining us, a couple of changes at the back with Walker back from injury and Cancelo from suspension. Here's Cancelo now, left-hand side of the penalty area. Comes back out of the box again to find Bernardo Silva. Down towards Cancelo, who takes it down towards the corner flag. Just tried a little trick, but it didn't come off, and that allowed Carvajal to get his foot on the ball and work it back for Casemiro. Now they will play out towards Valverde, and Modric with the long switch of play, but it beats Vinicius. Goes out for a throw that'll be taken over on the Manchester City right. With 7 minutes in, it's 0-0 on TalkSport, and here's Andy Townsend.
Yeah, what's interesting, as you would expect, Kyle Walker, when City have got really good possession, he might just go and make that little run around Riyad Mahrez, but in the main he's staying back to keep tabs on Vinicius. Every time Real Madrid win possession, that's their outball, and that's where Kyle Walker has to be.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne has just made another marauding run forward, and Casemiro knew the danger of letting him get too far. He got goal side of Casemiro, who then was in a position that he had no alternative but to slide in and bring him down. No yellow card, and a little angry reaction in there, and then Laporte goes to ground, and Modric has pushed him, and he stays on the ground, Emerick Laporte, and players from both sides square up to each other. And the referee just takes 5 steps back and keeps a watching brief at all the shenanigans that are going on. There was a little shove from Laporte towards Modric, and then Modric raised his hand, I don't think with a severity to cause a reaction from Laporte that put him on the deck. He's back on his feet now, and Daniele Orsato just trying to calm matters down. He's waved everybody else away, but will speak to Modric and Laporte. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, well, Luka Modric, for all his experience, really didn't need to get involved in the manner that he did. He raised his hand, and Laporte did as well, actually, a little bit on him, but Luka Modric raised his hand. Laporte didn't need to hit the floor, however, he did. And we've seen a yellow card for both there, Jim? Or just Luka Modric?
No, both were both
players, yeah. And Vinicius Junior came and got involved as well. City had the free kick. They had, and it was only that when Modric started to complain as they were all converging around the ball, and all of a sudden a hand is raised. Be very, very careful tonight of anything like that.
So Manchester City with the centre half on a yellow card now. Aymeric Laporte, Luka Modric cautioned as well. City have a free kick for the original foul by Casemiro on De Bruyne. City weren't happy that he wasn't cautioned for what would have been 15th time this season, 17th time this season, I beg your pardon. In comes the free kick, left foot, it's low and hard, past the wall, but easily saved by Courtois, just driven in with pace, but not what the doctor ordered there. Courtois able to catch it, bowled it out here for Eder Militao and get Real Madrid going again. 9 minutes gone already. It feels as though plenty has happened without the other side really creating a particularly noteworthy opportunity, but the atmosphere very intense, and I think the Real Madrid have possibly seen how Atletico Madrid played against Manchester City on home turf, and going to be prepared to mix it up a little bit tonight as well. Here's Eder Militao down through the midfield for Carvajal, turns away from Bernardo Silva and works it back for Militao again. Brazilian back to his Belgian goalkeeper. Courtois taking a couple of touches. Just plays it out towards Nacho. Toni Kroos now dropping in between the two centre halves. Good easy possession at the back here for Real Madrid, bringing it out. City got through the opening 10 minutes unscathed and still have that 1-goal aggregate lead.
And City are where they want to be in terms of positioning on the field. Their back four is right up on the halfway line. That's exactly where they operate at their best, when they're then able to win the ball and find De Bruyne just in behind Kroos and Casemiro, or Bernardo Silva in those little pockets of space which he operates in so well. So again, there's no emphasis on sitting back, there's no allowing Real Madrid to dictate proceedings. City have had lion's share of the possession. They're the ones that are trying to probe from those midfield positions.
You're listening to Real Madrid against Manchester City in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Hey Car. Buy a quality Czech used car with a 10-day money-back guarantee. Search Hey Car to find yours. 11 minutes in, it's 0-0. And Real have the ball with Casemiro playing it out towards Vinicius on the left-hand touchline. Walker takes 6 or 7 steps back, just giving himself a little bit of a cushion. The ball is worked back for Luka Modric, and now Mendy, the left back, to the tall, blonde-haired German Toni Kroos. Long diagonal, perfectly picks out Dani Carvajal. Coming in from the right-hand touchline, Valverde whipping it towards the penalty spot, and Benzema coming onto it, fires it over the bar.
Great football, love that. Big switch, as you said, Jim. Lovely switch out to Dani Carvajal here in the right-back position. Just took a touch, then rolled an inviting little ball along the edge of the 18-yard line to Valverde, who immediately whips the ball in with his right foot. It's about a yard from the penalty spot, and Karim Benzema onto it like a flash, goes for the first-time strike, doesn't quite get over the top of it, and sends it over the bar.
Ederson is wasting as much time as he thinks he can get away with, and maybe just a little bit more. The crowd really on his back. Well, that was some pretty epic man management there from Ederson, bearing in mind we're only 12 minutes in. He's set a high bar for future incidents.
Yeah, but as soon as he takes any sort of liberties with the crowd are immediately going to get onto the referee. They will.
And he did already point at his watch there, referee Orsato. It's one of those nights where you think that the crowd count could be pretty high. Only 2 yellow cards already, and there'll be plenty more, I would imagine, by the end of the night. Kroos laying it back for Mendy. Still 4-3 on aggregate to Manchester City after that spectacular first leg where they were 2 up at this stage with goals from De Bruyne and Jesus before Foden and Bernardo Silva added 2 more in the second half. And Benzema got a couple for Real Madrid, including that cheeky penalty that made it 4-3 and has given Manchester City just the 1-goal aggregate lead rather than 2 coming into tonight's match. 2 balls on the pitch just for a moment after a throw was taken very quickly, but they've sorted that out. Eder Militao working it 40 yards behind him, back for Thibaut Courtois. Play it out towards Kroos. Comes back through the midfield to meet it and sweeps it down to the near touchline, the Real Madrid right. And now they'll play it forward towards Casemiro. And he's looked to try and chip it over the top of Walker for Vinicius. He got the flight wrong, but you can understand what he was trying to do there. Walker just able to come back and calmly head it back to his goalkeeper. And it'll be played forward towards Bernardo Silva. And Manchester City will play forward again. 13 minutes gone, and it goes back for Kyle Walker once more. Silva turning easily in the midfield to get away from Vinicius. Just a little bit of shadow boxing going on between the two sides at the moment. Not going for the jugular in the same way that both did at times in the first leg in Manchester 8 days ago. Ruben Dias to Kyle Walker and straight back again. And now to his left-hand side for Aymeric Laporte. Over halfway for Bernardo Silva. He can bring it forward. Valverde in this now customary role for him on the right-hand side of midfield as far as Real Madrid are concerned, but not keeping the width necessarily. They're playing more infield than Vinicius on the far touchline, giving the Real Madrid midfield an off-kilter balance. Foden out to De Bruyne, not too far away from the corner of the penalty area. Checks back inside, gets it onto his left foot, but a drive that was comfortably saved by Courtois. Took a couple of steps to his left, beat the ball into the ground and gathered at the second attempt, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, really nice football from City. 5 or 6 passes across the midfield before they waited for the perfect moment to go into Phil Foden. Another chance here.
As possession's turned over, De Bruyne just trying to slip it into his right, but it was a disappointing pass for Riyad Mahrez, who'd made the run. And Real Madrid have it back just as quickly as they lost it, but that was a promising situation with Manchester City's press threatening to pay dividends. And now Valverde has intelligently turned it on. Vinicius will make a run. Benzema peels away, trying to find a yard of space. It was well judged by Cancelo. Cancelo stopping the initial pass. It then hit Bernardo Silva and worked back in the City penalty area, but Ederson sweeps up and Foden makes Eder Militao's life difficult enough that Manchester City get a throw out of it. 15 minutes in, 0-0.
First time we've seen Vinicius with the ball over the top and Kyle Walker not marking him. Ruben Dias actually had to go out and just slow him down. In the end, Vinicius tries to play a square ball right along the 18-yard line to Benzema that gets cut out.
Those are thoughts of former Ireland captain Andy Townsend. Sorry, Andy, as the ball is laid back here for Aymeric Laporte. He'll find his goalkeeper. It's always a heart-in-mouth moment when the ball goes back for Ederson, but he's got it out neatly that time towards Kyle Walker, who will turn, and Dias will get it forward.
What I was going to say, Jim, was when either team turn the ball over tonight, vitally important. They're really brave and direct and really try and hurt the opponent. Particularly, I think, City against this team. When they nicked the ball in midfield off of Kroos or off of Casemiro or Modric, and they got the chance to fire it into Jesus or De Bruyne, they got to do that as soon as they possibly can. Those little turnovers in there are going to be really crucial tonight. There's no point in winning the ball and just keeping the possession and going back and just waiting for the right time. Sometimes you've really got to play that incisive pass really early to get those key men in good positions.
City work it forward, win a throw and then go all the way back. And talk about the tarpaulins that cover a lot of the lower tier over on the far touchline. The detritus of the tifo has just been discarded on them. It's like confetti from Land of the Giants over there, with massive white and dark blue squares of paper just littering on top of the blue UEFA tarpaulin in front of the Real Madrid supporters, who sit underneath and over a giant clock on the far touchline ticking over in seconds, indicating we're 17 minutes in and still 0-0 the score. Kevin De Bruyne losing possession. An opportunity for Vinicius to try and bring it forward. Dias came and engaged with Karim Benzema. I think he probably just caught him on the ankle there. Nothing was given. Benzema made no complaints about it, but a free kick will now be given as Kroos is brought down in the midfield. A chance for Real Madrid to just take stock, get the bodies forward with this free kick. It's about a yard inside their own half.
Yeah, both teams jostling, wrestling for possession, for good possession, in order to turn that into a good chance, a good opportunity.
Play forward again towards Valverde. Might break here for Benzema. Takes a touch on the edge of the box. Laporte half gets it clear. Vinicius with an effort. Left-footed rising drive over the bar. But the best sights of goal are with Real Madrid, albeit again the offside flag up that time.
Yeah, and Kyle Walker there slept. He allowed Vinicius to run past him, run beyond him, and he was the one who got the final touch. even though, as you say, that offside flag went up, Jim. That was just a clip ball up to the edge of the 18-yard box. They battled away for it. In the end, it nearly dropped for Vinicius.
Edison again getting reminders about his time wasting, both from the crowd and the referee. City playing out very neatly. Lovely touch from Foden, cushioned down towards Bernardo Silva. Foden is in there, then trying to win it back, and bought a free kick. Just got in between Eder Militao and the ball. Collision inevitable, and the free kick goes Manchester City's way. João Cancelo will stand over it. City coming into this game on the back of 4 straight wins since the FA Cup semi-final defeat. They've lost only one of the last 15 games, and another draw tonight will be perfectly adequate as far as Manchester City are concerned. We'll get them through to the final for the second time, and again it will be an English side standing between them and their first ever European Cup trophy. At the Stade de France in Paris on May the 28th. Carvajal heading the ball away. Played forward through the midfield. Now it's Manchester City's turn to see an offside flag come up. A free kick that Carvajal's going to try and take from the wrong place. The referee wasn't having that. He just punches the ball back, does the Real Madrid fullback for Eder Militao, who takes it in towards Kroos. It was very well read by Jesus. So it's a poor ball back in, then Foden closed that down very quickly and got the cross in. It's headed away, only as far as Foden did well to react. Brilliant ball over the top from De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva, good save. Courtois at the near post, beat it away. Clearest opportunity for Manchester City tonight, all after a turnover of possession. Foden heavily involved. Sublime ball forward from De Bruyne. And Bernardo Silva coming onto it, hit it with conviction, but Courtois got his angles right and it's a corner.
Yeah, all from a Militao mistake. That time City really ultra positive. Foden whips the ball in, he eventually finds De Bruyne. Clever little pass in behind that Real Madrid back line for Bernardo Silva. Goes very close from his right foot there. Really good effort.
Jesus just walks away from that corner, and that will leave it for De Bruyne to take. Laporte was the target, headed clear, out for Cancelo, right-footed ball, chipped back in towards the far post, and Mahrez thought he saw a touch off a Real Madrid player on the way through, and he deliberately didn't play the ball. He could have got there down by the dead ball line and crossed it back in. He let it run, wanting a corner. Referee didn't see the touch and has given a goal kick.
Yeah, it was Dani Carvajal actually who was struggling to actually get any contact on that ball. But Riyad Mahrez was adamant that should have been another corner. But that was the biggest scare for the home team so far. And it all stemmed from a poor moment of a lack of concentration from Militao at the back. That's that key area that we know City can disrupt and cause problems for. And very unlucky Bernardo Silva. Lovely effort.
Oh, Foden again, just coming deep to pick up the ball. A deft touch square to runners on his right-hand side. And City can very quickly create space when he's able to do that. Walker from the right-hand touchline fires a cross in that's overhead. And it goes out of play for a throw that it's going to be taken on the Real Madrid right-hand side. And Dani Carvajal's the man that's going to come across the take. We've got more European action for you tomorrow. West Ham away at Eintracht Frankfurt, which kicks off at 8. That's on TalkSport. Rangers at home to Leipzig, also 1 goal down from the first leg. That's on TalkSport 2, kicking off at 8 o'clock. And Dean Ashton with stories to tell of an eventful trip to Germany. I won't spoil it for you, but there's more than one airport in Frankfurt. Anyway, Dean will tell the story tomorrow morning. On breakfast, Alan Brazil, Gabby Agbonlahor and Neil Warnock between 6 and 10. And all the live action from the Europa League semi-finals coming your way tomorrow on TalkSport. We'll bring you the Europa League final and the Champions League finals live on TalkSport later this month. Carvajal heading the ball away. It's brought down by Bernardo Silva, who's able to make his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Now Foden turning it round the corner. Bernardo Silva checking, getting it onto his right foot. Little flick on from Mahrez, brought down by De Bruyne's touch was heavy. Jesus coming onto it, and that wasn't too far away. Hit the stanchion behind the goal. Courtois just a spectator. And Jesus with a wicked, fierce snapshot, but it's gone a foot and a half wide.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva's bossing things in the middle of midfield. He's the one that keeps the team ticking over. Eventually, his cross finds Gabby Jesus on the edge of the box. We haven't seen too much of Jesus so far. That's the best from him. Good right foot shot, not too far wide. City looking the better team at the moment, having their best spell in the game.
Nacho plays the ball forward towards Kroos. Close into the feet of Karim Benzema. And now Vinicius turning it for Valverde. As we've been saying, more of a central midfielder by trade, really. Not used to making those third-man runs necessarily in that way, and didn't quite read it in time for the pass to be an effective one. It went through towards Ederson. It remains 0-0. We're just past the midway stage of the first half. Night beginning to fall here in Madrid, right in the middle of Spain. The floodlights are on, piercing what you can hardly describe as gloom, but certainly penetrating now. As Walker makes his way forward, finding Jesus. And City are able to work it down towards the left-hand side for Cancelo. He's level with the left-hand side of the box. Now forward to Foden. Level with the edge of the penalty area as he plays it back for the Portuguese international, who can turn. He's trying to engage Valverde in the midfield. Back he goes out towards Foden. Foden trying to get a run at Carvajal, who just stops him being able to do that. So Foden checks back out. Goes back for Cancelo. Cancelo doesn't supply him with a return ball, and Foden wasn't happy about that, but Ruben Dias can make his way forward. Now Mahrez firing it in, headed away by Casemiro, cleared out towards Rodri. City with the better of the possession at the moment, and they're also having it in good areas, managing the game very effectively with the ball at their feet. Foden goes back for Rodri. Rodri plays it just behind the referee to Cancelo. And Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne lurking, finding a pocket of space, but also finding Valverde closing him down very quickly. Eder Militao chips it out and gives it away.
Yeah, they can't keep it, Jim, at the moment, Real Madrid. Their back four is sat pretty much on the 18-yard line, and every time they get the ball, they give it away. City again then take 3 or 4 passes. It's just finding that right moment, as I mentioned earlier, to go into Foden, De Bruyne or Jesus. But the away team right now are having a good spell in the game, a confident spell.
25 gone, it's 0-0 on TalkSport and 4-3 to Manchester City on aggregate. Walker with a heavy touch back towards Ruben Dias. All he could do was slide it out of play.
Yeah, clumsy from Kyle Walker there. Heavy first touch, and he put Ruben Dias in trouble. Madrid have the ball.
Vinicius taking the throw quickly, finding Benzema, and then getting it back, and then a little nutmeg around the edge of the penalty area of Rodri. And Rodri blocked him off, and it's a free kick in a very promising position for Real Madrid. This is dangerous for City, only 4 yards outside the box, left of centre. They've cannily actually moved it back a couple of yards from where the infringement happened, just to give them a slightly better angle.
Just seeing a slow-mo there of Vinicius there. I thought it was theatrical the way he went down there. He popped it through Rodri's legs, yes, but he initiated the contact. That all stemmed from Kyle Walker being careless, sloppy. For one of the very few times we've seen so far, but it does present Real Madrid with a potential strike direct at Ederson. Toni Kroos is over the ball. He's the one we've seen do this before.
And the Real Madrid supporters, who we've said are hardly lacking in self-confidence, are just getting their scarves and whipping them around their heads, just trying to build up the moment here. Toni Kroos, right-footed, he's taken a deflection, little nick off the wall, which actually was all important. It spun it over the bar, and Ederson was scrambling, but it just got a little bit of elevation as it brushed the wall on its way through, and that meant that it went over the bar and possibly not just underneath it, out for a corner.
Riyad Mahrez it was, who got that all-important touch, the wall jumping as they should, all together, just to make it that little bit harder for Kroos to get that ball up and down back under the crossbar. But Luka Modric now has the ball at his feet from the corner spot.
And this is Real Madrid's first corner. They had a free kick down by the corner flag, but this their first corner. Benzema making a darting run out from the near post area, but too quickly for Modric, who was just bending down and adjusting the ball and spotting it down again. Now he's happy. It fired in towards the edge of the penalty area, and that's a sore one, I think, for Walker, who was up involved in the aerial challenge there. And the referee Osato just pointing to his head, saying he's mandated to stop play there. A clash of heads between Walker and Eder Militao, and it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Manchester City once Kyle Walker is back on his feet. Just gives City an opportunity to have a little breather, and they've all converged around the near touchline, around Pep Guardiola, who's in his black polo neck sweater, looking a picture of fashion. Carlo Ancelotti, the Don, just standing on the edge of his technical area in his coat, and he's giving out instructions in a much more placid manner as he just saunters onto the field for a moment. Pep, a hive of animation, But it's still 0-0, and Manchester City, as it stands, are still in the box seat. Walker's being told he's got to leave the field, and he's not happy about that.
Yeah.
Having had the treatment, he's got to go off on the far side, but Manchester City will resume with 10 men. Walker will be able to come back on. And it's a free kick to City on the edge of their box. What do you made of the opening 28 minutes, Andy?
Well, I've enjoyed it. It's been very interesting. It's eagerly contested, as you would imagine. City have had the better of it. They look the more likely when they have the ball and they operate in Madrid territory. They really do. I think they just need to take that little bit of care in that with their final pass, final decision. And I think Thibaut Courtois is the most likely to concede here so far.
De Bruyne in strongly there, no foul. The referee waving Kroos back to his feet. Modric able to emerge with possession though down the right hand side for Valverde, who cleverly works it back for the Croatian, once of Tottenham. Down to Carvajal again. Eder Militao for Modric, who drops that little bit deeper. He's never scored against Manchester City, who he faces for the 15th time tonight. A veteran of more than 700 games in his career. So to Karim Benzema, who reaches 750 tonight. His 602nd game for Real Madrid, with more than 320 goals for the club behind him.
That's a chance there for Valverde to actually just drop something in behind Emerick Laporte for Vinicius Junior, who made that run off the left side.
Carvajal gets it back. In the face of Manchester City pressure, he's forced to work it all the way back inside his own half. Half an hour gone. 0-0 on a mild, dry night here in Spain. Eder Militao turning it back inside his own penalty area. No pressure on Thibaut Courtois as he receives it, but Jesus comes across and pays more than lip service at putting Eder Militao under pressure. Jesus blocking it as Militao cleared it, goes out of play for a throw. Jesus' work rate and work off the ball is exemplary.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, look, he doesn't stop running, does he? And he's kind of the trigger for a lot of those guys up there. As soon as he starts going with real pace and intensity, everyone backs him up and follows him.
Jim Proudfoot and Andy Townsend talking through the action from the Champions League semi-final second leg at the Bernabeu tonight. Casemiro for the Kroos. Well-worn avenue that. Eder Militao now brings it forward. Benzema making a run. Actually went a little bit too early around the edge of the penalty area. Carvajal slipping it past Cancelo, finds Modric. Modric getting it in. Looking for Benzema. Ruben Dias read it and was critically there first for Manchester City.
Yeah, great defending from Ruben Dias. Stepped across Karim Benzema as that cross come in and made first contact. Really good work.
And now Real Madrid working wide for Mendy. Mendy trying to take on Mahrez. And it goes towards Vinicius. Vinicius from the left wing. Back for Toni Kroos, who's playing almost out of inside left on the left of the three-man midfield. Slipping it forward again for Vinicius with a white sweatband around his left wrist. Walker does well to deal with him. And Rodri turns away from trouble, back through his own penalty area to his captain Ruben Dias, but he gets it out of harm's way to Cancelo, who cleverly chips it forward. Foden taking it on the half turn, wrestled to the ground there by Casemiro. The referee has a look at it. City has still got the ball and he waves play on, and Casemiro has stayed down hurt. So too actually has Foden, but that was Casemiro, victim of his own ridiculous challenge there on Phil Foden, coming and trying to grab the shirt and grab him back, and he stayed down, and he's not right there, Casemiro.
He should get a yellow card because Phil Foden controlled the ball beautifully and was getting away from him, and Casemiro lacks pace, struggles when people get the other wrong side of him, and he's grabbing, really ripping Phil Foden's shirt off his back, wrestles the City boy to the floor, hits the floor himself, and I think he's laying on the floor now. I don't think there's a lot wrong with him, honestly.
Well, he could have had a yellow card for the early challenge on De Bruyne about 5 or 6 minutes in, where he pulled him back, that led to the spat that saw the two players, Laporte and Modric, booked, and he could have had a yellow card, should have had a yellow card for that. I mean, that is blatant.
Yeah. Look, there's no question, Jim, there. He should have been penalised for that. Absolutely denied City the chance for a major counter-attack. He's still on the floor. There is activity on the Real Madrid bench.
Yes, Camavinga that is getting ready. Just putting a bib on while he goes through a more strenuous warm-up. Casemiro's had his injury problems recently, and he wasn't fit enough to start in the first leg. It's just an angry reaction from him now as he gets back to his feet, but I don't understand what he's complaining about. Having seen the replay, it's not as if Foden going down has left studs showing, knowing there's going to be a collision made. Casemiro has just completely caused that problem for himself.
And I think he's used all his experience there, Jim, in denying Phil Foden, laying on the floor. Eventually the game gets stopped, he gets treatment, and it looks like he gets away. He comes back on now, he's limping on a little bit, comes back on a little gingerly. However, he doesn't have a yellow card, and someone like him on a yellow card, it's a problem for him with all that quality that City have in there.
As I mentioned earlier, he's had 16 yellow cards this season, way more than anybody else on show tonight. Offside flag up against Foden that time, and a free kick taken quickly by Militao. Militao in his haste to take it, looking for Kroos, almost found Foden by mistake. Nacho, back for Militao again, played forward, still 0-0, 4-3 to Manchester City on aggregate, who are 55 minutes away from a Champions League final with Liverpool in Paris, May the 28th. Now as the ball is worked forward again, Karim Benzema goes down and was on his knees for a moment, and now just crumples to the turf holding his chest. I think he's okay. It's an impact injury, nothing more severe than that. Doesn't need any treatment. He's back to his feet now, fully getting the recognition from the Real Madrid supporters these days that he deserves with his astonishing numbers. He scored 9 goals in the knockout stages of the Champions League this season. He gets another one tonight, then he equals the all-time competition record. Unsurprisingly, Ronaldo's got that with 10. Cancelo playing it back. Benzema's okay, just moving a little bit gingerly at the moment though, like an old man walking up the stairs in the morning as he makes his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Again, a little bit loose and sloppy from City's defensive lines. Diaz looked for Walker, who didn't control it in time, and it's just rolled over the line for a throw. We're 35 minutes in, and it's 0-0. 2
or 3 times, Kyle Walker. Whether that's just he's a little rusty, having come straight back into this one. A vastly experienced for a top player. He's such ferocious pace, and you'd want him in the team, but a couple of times his poor control, poor decisions have just put his team in a little bit of trouble.
Joao Cancelo in possession. Forward towards Laporte. Laporte to Rodri. Back for Ederson. Out to Diaz. De Bruyne drops deep. In doing so, white shirts come to meet him. He can turn it forward, knowing there's going to be space in behind, but he didn't play that blind pass quite effectively enough, and Real Madrid win it back. Valverde with a header through the midfield. Walker's done really well, walks onto it, kills it stone dead and finds De Bruyne. Wide from him, Demarais coming inside onto his left foot, a move we've seen so many times. Can't work these shooting angles. Foden almost with a sublime pass for De Bruyne, but Valverde got there and can head it down, and he'll be able to bring it away. But that was just brilliant instinctive play from Foden. It very nearly came off.
Yeah, looking dangerous again, City, when they get the ball high up the field. They really are.
Diaz, Foden not quite tall enough to get to that ahead of Mendy, who will now make his way forward. Modric chipping it forward. Walker coming across. Vinicius chasing. Walker leaning into him. Vinicius told to get back to his feet by the referee, and that it was a dive. Walker will be relieved. He and Ruben Diaz have just swapped places for a moment, just because of the way things worked in that phase of play. So Walker in the middle here as Carvajal plays it forward. Now Eder Militao trying to work it down the touchline. No touch off Cancelo. It's a Manchester City throw, but the pace of Vinicius is an omnipresent threat, and Walker had just enough.
They've just got to be a little careful, City, that they don't switch off, particularly when Modric in the midfield has got the ball at his feet. He's so clever, he can find Vinicius.
Casemiro looking for Vinicius again. And as the ball went high up in the air, Casemiro stayed forward and just headed it down for Benzema, but as they try and work it into the feet of Vinicius, it's overhit. Out of play for a goal kick, and it's much more nip and tuck than the first leg was, but you sense that both sides very close to being able to get things right in front of goal.
I think City look comfortable, but it's a worry when you're playing against Real Madrid. You can be comfortable in a game against them, and then, as we spoke about pre-game, they can just have a 5-minute spell and create 3 or 4 chances and nick a goal. Again, Rodri just getting caught in possession. It's those turnovers that are going to be key this evening. Which team is prepared to be ultra brave when they do it?
They turn into trouble But Walker won it back, much to the fury of his former Spurs teammate Walker. Here's Jesus making it towards the edge of the penalty area for Manchester City. 0-0 on the night. City 4-3 up on aggregate. Cancelo for Silva. Deflection on the cross in. Mendy comes to meet it and heads it away. Gets it outside the box, but only for Cancelo. De Bruyne, clever drag back with his first touch. Feeds Cancelo with his second. Bernardo Silva driving it in, and he wins the corner.
They're teasing and testing Real Madrid's defensive qualities, City. Lots of passes, as you would imagine, around the edge of that Real Madrid 18-yard box. As of yet, we're just looking for that devastating ball, maybe from De Bruyne, maybe from Bernardo, just to find someone in that bit of space where they can slot something past Thibaut Courtois. That would then offer up the perfect opening 40 minutes for Manchester City if they could.
Same corner routine that we saw earlier. Foden and De Bruyne both standing over it. Foden swinging it in, headed away, and then Modric turns it further forward. Walker, as the ball went behind him, seeing that it was only Benzema that was giving chase. Only Benzema, you know what I mean, not Vinicius. That allowed Ederson the opportunity to run outside the box. Foden with an effort from the edge of the penalty area, further out than that, struck it really sweetly, but diving away to his right hand side, Courtois could beat it away. Now Carvajal turns it forward on the edge of the box, and Real Madrid will get it out of harm's way to safety, but that was just a snapshot from Foden, and they forced a half decent stop out of Courtois. Now Vinicius making his way forward down the left-hand side. Walker times the challenge to perfection.
What a tackle.
Just looked second favourite for a moment, Andy, didn't he? But he got in the nick of time. Vinicius again getting to his feet, claiming a penalty. He won it cleanly. It is a corner, but it's a brilliant challenge.
Yeah, the referee going over to Vinicius Junior and saying, get up, get back up on your feet a little bit quicker, going down too easy. Kyle Walker gave him 2 or 3 yards there and showed ferocious pace to get back and make a brilliant challenge.
Real Madrid's second corner, and it's going to be a right-footed in-swinging delivery from Toni Kroos, well headed away by Laporte, and towards the edge of the box, back through a crowd of players with a bouncing effort from Valverde, but City won it. Try and work it forward quickly for De Bruyne. De Bruyne taking on Modric. Modric had the angle right, and the crowd loving that. But the veteran in the midfield had the pace to be able to get back and recover. Get it away from De Bruyne, find his goalkeeper, and for the counter-attack. It's 0-0 with 4 minutes to go to half-time. Kroos out for Benzema, appeals away out to the left-hand side this time. Vinicius making a run from in to out to receive the ball. Valverde receiving it, the Uruguayan just laying it off for Kroos. Eder Militao's made his way forward from centre-half to join this attack. Carvajal, as the intensity of the Real Madrid support just goes up another couple of notches, a bit more volume added. Down it comes towards Carvajal with Eder Militao making a run ahead of him, but he's checked and works it back inside his own half.
Yeah, nice bit of possession actually from Real Madrid. Sensibly, wisely keeping it. Very aware of how dangerous City can be, but just for the moment they're going from one side of the field to the other, across the middle of the park, mainly through Luka Modric. Again, this time they're looking for the right moment to just try and find someone in that pocket of space so you can get on the half turn and start running at the opposing back line.
Nacho to Modric, straight ball down the line for Vinicius, takes it into his stride, runs at Mahrez, who's able to block it. Rodri playing it back for Mahrez turning it briskly to Walker inside his own penalty area, but he gets it clear. And then Foden doing well to pressurise from the front, although he can't get the ball from Nacho. Just keeping the Real Madrid defender honest. Now good ball for Benzema, might be offside, but the flag isn't up yet, and he's lashed it past the top right-hand corner. VAR would have had a look at it, and once it's gone out of play, the flag does come up. He did look offside, and it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, he did look offside. He was a couple of yards actually offside. But again, this Real Madrid team, this is what they're all about. This is why they have this hold on this competition, is because they are second best to a large degree, but then all of a sudden, out of nothing, out of nowhere, they stitch a couple of passes together, and with someone like Vinicius, he gets in behind that City back line, you can be in trouble very, very quickly. That's why they're ultra dangerous.
Throw taken very intelligently down the line for Benzema, who, had the ball been played from feet, would have been yards offside. Couldn't be from a throw, of course. Laporte got there and was able to flick it off Benzema and out of play. for a goal kick. Real Madrid's home record is tidy. It's actually not quite as good. Their home record in La Liga is Manchester City's away record in the Premier League. Real Madrid have taken 40 points from 17 here. City 42 from 17 on the road. Their defensive record, exemplary Manchester City, conceding only 15 in 26 away games in all competitions this season. Beaten at Spurs in the opening weekend of the league season, at PSG and Leipzig as well, but those the only defeats, and if we can still say that in just over an hour's time, Manchester City are in the final. It's 0-0. Foden, with 90 seconds to go to the break, finding Bernardo Silva. Down from him for Joao Cancelo. He just stops the ball for a moment and flicks it off to his left-hand side for Gabi Jesus, who hasn't had a chance so far to continue his run of scoring every time he's ever played against Real Madrid. 3 out of 3 for him so far. And the ball goes through for Thibaut Courtois. We go into the final minute of the first half. Not going to be too much time to be added on. A couple of minutes maybe. Walker, Casemiro both received treatment. There's that little spat very early in the game between players from both sides. Valverde hooks the ball down through the midfield for Casemiro. He's lucky not to be on a yellow card. 4 from him for Vinicius. Mendy making a good run on the overlap for him. Walker comes across to try and deal with him. Space for Karim Benzema, who wants it to feet on the edge of the box. It goes past him for Vinicius instead. Then Casemiro comes forward and is way back to his feet. That was a dive, and the counter-attack is on for City. But it's a really poor ball from Mahrez. He had De Bruyne to his right, and De Bruyne couldn't hide his dismay. They had options either side of him. He arguably picked the wrong option.
Yeah, he did.
And then executed the pass poorly as well. Now Real Madrid working forward at the other end. Such tight margins could be all important. Modric on the left-hand side of the box. Mahrez coming back. Modric will just lay it back for Mendy. 2 minutes of added time. High ball inside the penalty area. Casemiro goes up for it. Glances it wide. And out of play for a goal kick. Although Real Madrid thought it should be a corner, I think a goal kick is the correct decision. I think he was just on his way down, hit Casemiro last. But a goal kick, City with a glorious opportunity on the counter-attack, just moments after Casemiro again tried to buy a free kick on the edge of the box.
And twice Riyad Mahrez has tried to find Kevin De Bruyne. It was actually, if he looks to his left, he's got better options, I think, in Phil Foden and Gabi Jesus for a counter-attack. And again, that was because Casemiro lost the ball almost up on the edge of City's 18-yard box. They broke very quickly. It's just that pass, that decision. It's not quite connected enough, as much as we would expect City to do so.
Real Madrid 0, Manchester City 0. So far, so good, as far as City are concerned. The margin of advantage remains slight. Bernardo Silva to De Bruyne. Blonde-haired Belgian to his right for Riyad Mahrez, back for De Bruyne again. Right at the end of the first half, a rising drive that clears the bar. Daniele Orsato will look at his watch. He indicates a corner. Will be time to take it. City are trotting over there in a hurry to try and take it relatively quickly with only about 30 seconds of the first half remaining. Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne there running right along the line of the 18-yard box on his left foot. We've seen him do that plenty of times. The shot looked like he'd skied it, but it caught a little deflection, which allows Phil Foden this corner.
Raises his right arm above his head, a left-footed away swinger towards the far post, headed away, out towards Mahrez. Referee checks his watch. Mahrez back for De Bruyne, right-footed ball fired in, off Benzema's head, out of play for another corner. Really not very much time to take this one. Probably only about 5-6 seconds left in the first half. By the time Foden gets the ball down on the quadrant. Spots it down now, very deliberately. Chance to fire one last set piece in towards the near post. Benzema heads it away, and that's half time. Well, so far, so good as far as Manchester City are concerned. Not too many frights at one end. They've tested Thibaut Courtois on a couple of occasions at the other, but the lead remains fragile. 4-3 on aggregate, because at half time on the night in the Bernabeu, it is 0-0. And to put that task in perspective, Ederson has kept 14 clean sheets in his last 19 games and 4 in his last 5 matches in this competition. We'll get through another 45 minutes unscathed. Then they've got another pop at history. Real Madrid from the very off. Benzema can't get there, and Vinicius should have scored. 10 seconds into the second half. They've taken the kickoff. They've punted it out in the right wing. They've gone in behind the fullback. They've flashed it across. Benzema can't get there. Vinicius can, and inexplicably misses the target. And Real Madrid should be a goal up. 9.5, 10 seconds into the second half.
Do you know, Jim, that's outstanding football. They've actually used the kickoff almost like a set play, a routine, to get it down wide down their right-hand side and whip it across the 6-yard box. Thankfully, it was just a little too big for Karim Benzema. Otherwise, he would have rattled that into the back of the net. It fell for Vinicius. Come at him quick on his left foot. He should have done better.
Oh, it's a big let off that. Vinicius playing it. Valverde, I beg your pardon, playing it in now. Benzema tries to get it across. Manchester City haven't got going at the start of this second half. Real Madrid building up a fine head of steam and the crowd getting behind them. Good back heel, plays in Mendy, whose left-footed cross is swept clear by Ruben Dias. Real Madrid will try and come again. Casemiro forced to go back for Nacho. Well, you know how everything in football is cyclical and a fashion. People will have seen that set-piece routine from the kick-off. Everyone will be trying it over the next couple of weeks, but it very nearly proved effective there.
Really did. It was very clever the way they did it. Luka Modric actually had the ball from the kick-off, and he looked like he was just shaping to knock it back to the centre-halves. And he sort of ran away, then he checked back towards the ball, played a little give and go with Toni Kroos, who whipped it over the top of João Cancelo to Dani Carvajal, flashing cross along the 6-yard line. Benzema misses it by a whisker, and Vinicius can't adjust his feet quick enough. They should have a lead.
2 minutes gone, second half, it's still 0-0. Free kick taken by Real Madrid for a foul by Jesus on Eder Militao. Just a little bit too straight. Edison there ahead of Benzema. And City, for the first time in this second half, now able to get their foot on the ball and bring it forward. Rodri, down for Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think any reminder was necessary for Manchester City just how quickly things could turn tonight, but they've had one there, a let-off for them. It remains 0-0 on the night, 4-3 to Manchester City on aggregate. Cancelo back for Laporte, and Laporte will turn it all the way back for his goalkeeper. Edison put under pressure, side foots it out towards Diaz to Walker. Walker taking a touch, turning it forward. Mendy in there strongly, getting there ahead of Mahrez. Real Madrid improved in this second half so far, and Benzema can't take the ball forward. Rodri was able to see to that, and then Ruben Dias smites it square, parallel to the halfway line, and out towards the left-hand side for Cancelo. And Cancelo for Gabi Jesus. Foden playing through the middle, and just waiting for the ball to get to his feet. Bernardo Silva retaining a possession. Carvajal adjusted his feet with the ball between them, but he was able to just get a good touch on the ball and get it away, and now find Toni Kroos. Kroos will play it forward. He's been robbed in possession well by Jesus. De Bruyne has to drop back 5 or 6 yards in the midfield and retrieve possession, but in doing so can turn. Foden plays that little no-look pass round the corner for Bernardo Silva that he favours so much. And then the Portuguese turns it back out to the left-hand side for Cancelo, to Rodri, to De Bruyne again. Kroos comes to engage with him, but De Bruyne makes his way forward. Chance for Phil Foden to deliver. Left-footed, wrapped around it. Mendy with a defensive header that got it away from Riyad Mahrez on the Manchester City right, but City can come again. Walker playing it back to the Algerian Riyad Mahrez, City's top scorer this season. Ruben Dias played in, and back to Mahrez again, and back for Dias once more, and Dias hurriedly under pressure from Benzema finds Aymeric Laporte, who was booked in the first half for a confrontation with Luka Modric, who also earned a yellow card. City have it again, left-hand side of the penalty areas. It's whipped in by Jesus. Didn't quite get the angle right for Foden, but he forced Courtois to come out and deal with it, and his handling had to be good, because had he dropped it there, Foden would have had a tap-in. As it is, with 5 into the second half, it's 0-0.
Yes, succession of passes there from City, eventually finding Gabriel Jesus just on the left side of the front three. Slight adjustment there from City at the start of this second half. But Phil Foden's playing up as a false 9 a little bit, and Gabriel Jesus operating just off that left side. Really good shot that Courtois saves well.
Now City bring it forward here. Modric wins it back, plays it over halfway, and is blocked off. It's a free kick. And they've taken it relatively quickly. Modric back out to the right-hand side for Dani Carvajal. Real Madrid lining up Courtois in goal. Carvajal, Ayla Militao, Nacho and Mendy. Modric, Casemiro and Kroos. Valverde, Benzema and Vinicius. City, Ederson in goal. Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo. Bernardo Silva and Rodri. Mahrez on the right. Jesus on the left. And Foden playing through the middle more often than not. But as always, it's a movable feast. The front five ahead of Rodri.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout, that, from Pep Guardiola, actually, because Gabriel Jesus is so honest with his work, and I think with the game so tight, they've got to make sure that as Real Madrid push, which they will do, as we've seen already in this second half, that they've got all the necessary people in place to cope with that, and Gabriel Jesus does that so unselfishly.
Now this latest Manchester City attack has been started by a brilliant touch with the outside of the boot from Bernardo Silva. Mahrez finding De Bruyne. Mahrez taking it on, getting the return pass, but not for the first time tonight's touch, just a little bit too heavy under pressure, and the chance to get a shot in very quickly ran away from him. And Real Madrid will be able to bring it forward with Vinicius down the left flank, running at Ruben Diaz, who doesn't engage. He's backing off, and still he's backing off. Vinicius pulling it back. Modric hooking it up, left-footed shot, ricochets up off the heels of Ruben Diaz. Goalkeeper comes out, spills it. Walker trying to protect the space in front of him. City eventually can get it away with Mahrez. He can't find De Bruyne, and Real Madrid will bring it forward again. That was a catalogue of errors inside the City penalty area, but they survived it. Now he's flashed across the edge of the 6-yard box from Vinicius, and no one can get there. Goes through for Dani Carvajal, the other side of the penalty area, and Real Madrid will recycle it to Valverde. Valverde, Casemiro, mishit, drag, back heel pass through, which Bernardo Silva read, but the crowd scents blood.
Yeah, first bit of panic that set in amongst that City back line.
Vinicius, a major part of it. Struck a little give and go there with Benzema. Manchester City can knock it away. It comes back from Nacho, who'll turn it forward intelligently for Kroos, and now to Mendy. Benzema wearing the captain's armband to his left. Mendy trying to take it on inside the penalty area, nudged it away from Walker. Rodri mopped up, Walker did the rest, got it upfield. Foden chasing after it, keeps Eder Militao honest. He finds his goalkeeper, but what about that previous passage of play in the City box?
It's been a very good start, positive start to the second period from Real Madrid. Right from that really clever kickoff, they should have scored, but they've looked the more likely. City have just had a little bit of a panic up 2 or 3 times. Their players in possession, dabbing at the ball and giving it away, and carelessly not keeping and retaining possession, which they do so well. Don't invite Real Madrid to come at you. They will, but don't offer them a chance to do that by turning the ball over and letting them have it.
Walker takes a throw, finding De Bruyne. Good first touch, got away from Casemiro. Excellent second touch, played out towards Gabriel Jesus, who will make his way forward out of the left-hand side of the box. De Bruyne making the run, but Militao is across. There's a few white paper aeroplanes make their way onto the penalty area that Manchester City are attacking now. Walker sweeps up as Real Madrid threaten to get it away quickly, and it goes out for a throw that will be taken on the Real Madrid right. Now, we haven't seen too many opportunities like that for City to maybe get a numerical advantage very briefly, but they haven't made the most of those, be it a heavy touch, just the wrong pass. It just hasn't worked for them. They haven't had that fluency.
That's unlike them. But I think that's the occasion. That's what's at stake here more than anything else. It's just adding that little layer of pressure, and at the moment City just need to retain that composure. Usually they do it so beautifully. We're used to seeing it week in, week out with their Premier League football. They carve teams open and do it again and again and again. They've had good situations which they haven't turned into goal-scoring opportunities. That's unlike them.
Given away again by Walker behind Rodri, straight to Casemiro. Will make his way through the middle to Vinicius. Coming back, Bernardo Silva sticks out the toe. Actually poked it towards the edge of his own 6-yard box, but City defending mob-handedly there had enough bodies to be able to get it to harm's way. But you just sense that one of these errors, and it's been an error-strewn performance distribution-wise at the back for City, one of them's going to prove costly.
What's a worry at the moment is that the game is just totally in the balance. And I don't like that from a City point of view. I like to see them dominating and dictating possession, looking the more likely. Since the restart, the home team have had their best spell.
De Bruyne, sublime turn, finds it forward towards Foden. Foden on the edge of the penalty area, slips it out wide to the left-hand side for Gabi Jesus, but he can pick it up. Comes in from the left-hand side of the box, setting up a potential opportunity for João Cancelo. Cancelo rolls the studs of his right foot over the top of the ball, lays it back for Jesus. Foden taking it on, getting away from Modric, going down. He was trying to buy a free kick there, Phil Foden. Real Madrid are able to bring the ball forward and get it out towards Vinicius. Benzema in immediate support for him. Benzema picks it up, drives through the gears where Vinicius' touch was too heavy, and that allowed Laporte to come across and knock it away. And a decent first touch there, and City were in all kinds of bother.
Yeah, I mean, Pep Guardiola is furious. He feels his team should have had a free kick, but that was 75 yards from City's goal. Within a couple of passes, Karim Benzema is slotting Vinicius between full-back and centre-half, and he very, very nearly gets in there. Again, Kyle Walker's got to switch on and recognise that danger a little quicker.
You're listening to Real Madrid against Manchester City in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Heycar. Buy a quality Czech used car with a 10-day money-back guarantee. Search Heycar to find yours.
Sorry, Jim, I was just saying they're trying to get Vinicius into the game as much as they can. He's the one that elevates the team. He gets them up, he gets them out, and he's the one who's the most danger for them. Now, Kyle Walker, I know he's only just come back into the team tonight, and he's got incredible pace, but he often sleeps and allows people just to steal a march on him. You can't do that with Vinicius. You can't give him a yard. If you do, he'll punish you at some point in the game.
Walker down towards Riyad Mahrez here. Controls it and lays it back to his goalkeeper. Edison plays out. Now Bernardo Silva has it. Real Madrid supporters still sensing that this is going to be their night. Why wouldn't they, on the basis of the fact that they've effectively been down and out in this competition twice already and have rescued it on both occasions? City looking for De Bruyne. Nothing sticking for City in potent areas at the moment, and now they've given another free kick away. It's Walker on Vinicius.
Yeah, that ball again, a lovely through ball from Kyle Walker to Kevin De Bruyne, who's only got Militao to beat, and the ball just gets away from him and just rolls through to Thibaut Courtois, knocks it up the field. Vinicius gets fouled. Real Madrid have the ball.
Few tackles there for Rodri, who threw the ball away to stop the free kick being taken quickly. Rodri, son of Madrid, born in this town. Cross takes the free kick quickly and works straight out towards the right hand side where Real can win a throw.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus doing a lot of good work down there. Dani Carvajal is pushed forward 10 or 15 yards from where he was in the first period, almost playing like a right winger now. They will add an element of risk to their game. They have to find a way back in, and then City have then got to just make those passes and those decisions work just a little better than they have. They're not that far off it, believe me, but at the moment, every time they get in a good situation, it breaks down unnecessarily.
Manchester City women beaten 6-0, have won 6-0. Beg your pardon, slight difference there. They've beaten Birmingham by 6-0 tonight. Birmingham relegated as a result of that. Arsenal beat Spurs 3-0 to go a point behind leaders Chelsea ahead of Sunday's final day. This one is 0-0 at the moment. 4-3 on aggregate to Manchester City. 59 minutes played. Modric in the left back position for a moment, gets it forward. Foul on Ferland Mendy. At least according to the Real Madrid defender, but he's not officiating. Well, Daniele Orsatti said play on. City with Jesus dropping deeper than he has for a while, just playing it back for Rodri, and now Laporte will come forward over the halfway line. City a side that have scored 88 goals in the last 37 Champions League matches. A very impressive return, nearly 2.5 a game. Just one tonight could make all the difference. Not too many signs of it coming so far. Here's Walker under pressure again. And Vinicius has won it back. And now will try and turn and run at him. And Walker coming back has got goal side, but he can't put a challenge in here. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area looking for Benzema. Couldn't get the angle on the cross right. and City are going to be able to bring it away again. Kyle Walker hasn't played for a long time.
No.
They've rushed him back. They needed to get him back tonight because they needed somebody with genuine pace. We saw what happened when Fernandinho filled in at right back in the first leg, but I don't know whether Kyle Walker's quite there and has really struggled by his high standards. He has had an hour tonight he'd like back.
Yep. Rodri gave him an awkward ball, actually, a square ball out to him. It pitched in front of him and he had to try and get it under control quickly. Vinicius was onto him really smartly, robbed him, and then immediately turned and ran Kyle Walker, and he showed him a clean pair of heels, to be fair, for the first time this evening. You have to be careful in that area. Seconds after that, Jim, Riyad Mahrez has Phil Foden in a great position. A simple 20-yard pass puts him in one-on-one with Thibaut Courtois. The ball is overhit. And looking at Pep Guardiola down below us, a source of major frustration, because every time he sees these real opportunities to punish Real Madrid slip by, you just see his shoulders slump once more and his head bows, because he knows what happens in this stadium. At some point they just might get another chance and they might take it.
Well, Kyle Walker's gone down injured now, off the ball, and his race might be run. Foden's just won a free kick. Mahrez comes across along with Ruben Dias to attend to Walker. Vinicius bends down over him as well in a very sporting manner to make sure that his immediate opponent is okay. Pep Guardiola, who's got a nice line in visible heated exasperation, he just turns away, furious with circumstance and the situation, and gives instruction to his bench out of our view, but it's not looking good for Walker.
No, he's shaking his head. He looks like his race is run. More than anything, I'm not sure if it's the injury that caused him to be out for that period, Jim, but he's shaking his head. And I'm seeing Zinchenko getting stripped, ready to go. I would imagine João Cancelo's going to come over and front up Vinicius down this Real Madrid's left, City's right, and let Zinchenko operate, of course, in his natural position.
Zinchenko relatively lightly raced in matches of this kind of pedigree. He was so good in that first leg. He did really well. He will come on for 28 minutes. City will be hopeful that it is only 28 minutes, but a potential that it could extend towards an hour, of course. Cancelo, as Andy says, will swap flanks, and Zinchenko will come on in a moment. He is stripped and ready for action, but first of all, Walker, having received the treatment, comes over to the near side. He's in discussion with Pep Guardiola. Are they going to give him one last go?
Why would you do that? If he's not happy, why would you do that? He's shaking his head, clearly doesn't look at his best. Too much at stake tonight to risk a player that clearly looks slightly uncomfortable.
And in a match of such fine margins, playing against a player with such breathtaking pace, it might only take one slip up from a player who's not quite 100% fit. But they're not making the change yet. Ball's gone out of play for a throw, which is taken by Mendy. He goes back for Courtois, gets it away. Courtois clearing it over halfway. And Laporte will get it back to his goalkeeper. Forward towards Rodri again. Manchester City just maintaining possession at the moment, doing what they can whilst they contemplate exactly what the severity of the problem is with Walker, whether he should be continuing. Pep runs a hand through the hair that's no longer there. Just in a nervous manner, big decisions to be made, such high stakes. 26 minutes to go. 26 goalless minutes will see Manchester City through to the final. Zinchenko continues to warm up. It might be that they just try to get Zinchenko absolutely to the pace of the game in the warm-up before they make the change, but it could be a risk. Walker will know, and the medical staff will know. They'd have made that expert prognosis, but he stays on the field for now, and a yellow card is shown as Foden comes across to the referee, complaining about the quality of a challenge which came in on Kevin De Bruyne, and Dani Carvajal is the player that is put.
Yeah, he committed to the challenge. Carvajal stepped inside 10 yards, fast little interchange of passes from City, ball laid into De Bruyne. Carvajal has already committed to the challenge, clips the Belgian, quite rightly goes in, he gets a yellow card.
So Carvajal in the book, along with Casemiro, who's just pushed Foden over there. Sorry, along with Modric. Casemiro isn't in the book. He arguably could have been twice. That one was just niggly. Play goes on, and City have turned possession over. Bernardo Silva has it, turning one way and then the other, trying to get the better of Casemiro, and it's a free kick to Manchester City in an area to swing it inside the box, and a slightly understated high five between Foden and Bernardo Silva, because this is a chance to get the centre-halves forward to attack something.
Another challenge from Casemiro that disrupts a City opportunity, and again he walks away from the situation without any punishment from the referee. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he's pretty shrewd, he's pretty clever, Casemiro. He knows exactly what he's doing, but the referee's got to be better than that. He's got to stop him from continually doing that.
What can City muster from here? Foden runs over it. De Bruyne is swinging in with pace. Laporte was the target. Benzema had him covered. It's come off the Frenchman's head down towards the dead ball line, where Kroos makes sure he doesn't go out to play for a corner, but will instead be a City throw.
I think they've had their best spell. City have had to weather a little storm here for 20 minutes. They were rattled right at the start of the second half. Great opportunity for Vinicius. He didn't take it. And actually, it kind of inspired the home team to finally really step forward in the game. But they've come through that, Manchester City. Walker looks like he's comfortable enough to continue. They have possession of the ball. Can they now start to turn the screw a little bit?
De Bruyne, 15 yards inside the Real Madrid half. It's forward towards Jesus. Surely he's offside. He thought he was. He received the ball, everybody stopped, looked up, and then the flag came up.
Do you know, their decision-making tonight, City, at the top of the field has been really average. By their incredibly high standards, they've all lacked the care, which usually is there so naturally. It's just a fundamental part of what they do. They're so good at that. But tonight, when they pick the ball up midway in Real Madrid's half, that next pass has been poor. It just hasn't stuck. As you mentioned earlier, Jim, it hasn't found a Man City shirt. Now, I think they can score here tonight. I think we all felt coming here that they would get chances to score. We saw that in the first half when they did stick a few clever passes together. As this game becomes more stretched and Real become more desperate, City have got to nail those passes at the top of the field.
Well, he's not exactly painting by numbers as far as Carlo Ancelotti is concerned, but he's got to the midway stage of the second half. It's still 0-0. They need a goal, so he makes an attack-minded change. Kroos off. Rodrigo comes on to replace him. A more dynamic, forward-looking player in the same kind of position. He has started in that same area, but I would imagine he'll go out towards the right-hand side of the front three, and Valverde will drop a little bit deeper when play allows. Laporte puts it out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Real Madrid right-hand side, and he goes out of play for another throw, which will be taken by Real. Just over 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes for Manchester City to be able to protect this clean sheet, which will be the most priceless one of the season. You can see that a free kick here. Eder Militao fouled, back to his feet. No thought in Foden's mind of retreating 10 yards. Militao takes the free kick back behind square and finds Nacho. Nacho clipping it, right-footed, out towards the right-hand side for Dani Carvajal. Carvajal's ball forward up the touchline for Rodrigo. Vinicius in plenty of space on the left. Kyle Walker defending extremely narrow, not even close to defending the width of the penalty area at the moment. But City win it back, and now we'll work it for them. Foden busting a gut, can't get there. And Madrid mop up and get it back to Courtois, who clears from inside his own penalty area. Long ball forward that turns the back line. Walker leaning into Vinicius, and the referee waves both players back up and says, play on.
Kyle Walker has hit the floor there, and he's tumbled over and over and over again. It looks like he might have twisted his knee. It was a coming together. It was a 60-yard ball down the middle from Thibaut Courtois. There's a coming together of Vinicius and Walker, and he looks like he's clutching his knees in some distress, the City man.
Well, as the ball was played over the top, it looked as though Vinicius might be able to get the run on him, and it looked very nervy for a moment. Walker was the wrong side. He was looking up at the ball as it came over his shoulder. The contact was inevitable, and then it's as he's on his way down that he hits the deck and potentially twists that knee, and that's the reaction of a player who is in some distress.
Yeah. And Zinchenko is stripped below us, Jim, and ready to go, I think.
So Zinchenko for Walker, the change that's been in the post for a while is now going to be made. Tomorrow morning on TalkSport, Alan Brazil, Gabby Agbonlahor and Neil Warnock talking through breakfast. They'll also be looking ahead to tomorrow night's Europa League coverage with Dean Ashton. Dean out in Germany at the moment, ahead of Eintracht Frankfurt against West Ham, which the Hammers trail by 2-1 from the first leg. That game live at 8 p.m. tomorrow on TalkSport with a 7 o'clock build-up on TalkSport 2 tomorrow. It's Rangers against Leipzig. Rangers similarly a goal down from the first leg, but they're at Ibrox. Adrian will be there, and Charlie Adam on commentary duties. Tonight, your chance to react to everything from the Bernabeu. Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara taking your calls after we're done here, potentially at 10 o'clock. Potentially that little bit later, but so far so good for City. Just about. The lead has been a touch on the precarious side at moments. Walker struggling to lead the field under his own steam here, hobbles off, gets an embrace from Ruben Dias as he leaves the playing arena. Zinchenko will come on to replace him, and whilst they're making one change, City will also make a second, and İlkay Gündoğan is going to come on for Kevin De Bruyne.
Look, I don't know whose decision that was to leave Kyle Walker on. That might be one they regret, because the way he's limping off there, I hope he hasn't done something quite serious to his knee. He's in some pain, some distress. He should have come off when he was sat on the floor and he looked like he had run his race. He looked like he was struggling a little bit with his fitness. He's up against the quickest guy in the opposing team, and he should have come off at that point. Now he hobbles off. He could be out for a month. You just don't know. It could be longer. And that's a real shame for Kyle Walker, and it's a real blow for Manchester City.
Edison again under pressure, gets it away after the restart, trying to just pass it low through the midfield for Bernardo Silva. Here's İlkay Gündoğan, who's on for his 250th Manchester City appearance today, a man who has beaten Real in the semi-finals of this competition in the past, back in 2013 in his Dortmund days. Playing forward now towards Bernardo Silva, slipped out towards Mahrez!
Get in there, get in!
Riyad Mahrez lashes it into the top right-hand corner. It is against a run of play, but it's daylight for Manchester City, who lead on the night and have a 2-goal aggregate lead, and might just have booked their place at the Stade de France to meet Liverpool in the final. He's had a quiet night, Mahrez, but he's walked onto that, and he has driven it with power and precision into the top right-hand corner. His 24th goal of the season. It is Real Madrid 0, Manchester City 1, 5-3 on aggregate.
The first time in the second half that they've made those passes stick, that they've found the blue shirts at the top of the field, and Riyad Mahrez comes in off the right-hand side, shaping on that left foot, and you're just thinking, can you hit the target? Can you work Thibaut Courtois? Well, let me tell you, he does better than that. He comes onto it, he controls it, but he hits it hard, shaping to go far post, hits it hard into that near post, right into the roof of the net. What a goal.
It comes with the rider that Real Madrid never know when they're beaten. Staring elimination in the face against Paris Saint-Germain, the Parisians buckled under Real pressure. Then, having blown a sizable first leg lead against Chelsea, 3-0 down here on the night, Real still found a way to come back. And when they were up against it at the Etihad last week, 2 goals down on numerous occasions, they got themselves back into the tie. But that's the situation they find themselves in now, just over 15 minutes to go, and a 2-goal advantage lead for Manchester City. Will they be able to hold on here? They can concede 1, they can't concede 2. Little bit of anger again involving Mahrez and Vinicius this time, and Casemiro's going to come off, and he'll be replaced by Asensio, and Camavinga is going to come on for Luka Modric. Double change made by Ancelotti with 15 to go.
He has to top the energy levels up, Carlo Ancelotti. After that goal, they have to respond. They haven't got long to find a way back into this game. They've got to score one to start with. They've got to penetrate. They have to start creating chances again. City weathered that little period at the start of the second half, didn't they? That 15-20 minutes where they looked wobbly. If they're a boxer, they take them on the chin and they might have had a standing count for a bit. That's how they looked, just for a spell there. But they came through it. And then they stitched a couple of lovely passes together, had bodies at the top of the field, scored a stunning goal. Now the white shirts have to respond. The atmosphere, I've got to say, in the stadium is now muted. It's gone right down a level, as you would expect, Jim.
And it's the City fans you can hear, the first chorus of Blue Moon that has been able to penetrate the home support. It certainly won't be the first that the City choir have exalted their heroes with tonight, but it's the first we've been able to hear. 14 minutes to go. And I don't want to tempt fate from a City perspective, but it does bear repeating the statistic. In 35 matches this season, that City have gone 1-0 up. They have won 34 and drawn the other one. They're in a position that they've got 14 minutes to hold on here to a 1-0 lead. Even a 1-1 draw is enough to see them through. Asensio whipping the first ball inside the penalty area looking for Benzema, and it's been saved by Edison. Comes out, claims it, picks himself up eventually from by his penalty spot, and now comes to the edge of the penalty area and hits one of those sidewinder balls out towards Gabriel Jesus on the far side. 13 minutes to go. Ilkay Gundogan in possession to Rodri, out to Zinchenko. Zinchenko forward to Gundogan again, bringing it forward over halfway. Camavinga comes back to mop up. Gundogan is waved back to his feet after claiming that he was caught in the midfield by Valverde. The play goes on with Courtois playing it out towards Camavinga, and Camavinga can just bring it forward outside his own penalty area now. The dyed blonde dreadlocks flowing behind him as he plays it to his left-hand side for Nacho. Chipped over the top by Mendy, headed on out towards the left-hand side for Vinicius, and now to play for a throw that'll be taken by Real Madrid. It's 1-0 to City, and Grealish is going to be coming on in a moment for them.
Now they need people to carry the ball, hold the ball, invite challenges, buy free kicks high up the field. That's exactly what Jack Grealish is all about. That's what they'll want to do, roll the ball out to his feet. It's Gabriel Jesus who's worked so hard, so tirelessly for the team down their left side in the second period. He's the one making way for Grealish. But now it's about keeping the ball. No better team than Manchester City in this competition than keeping the ball, than working their opponent when they have a healthy lead. That's exactly where they've got. From here on in, Jim, they should not let this one go.
Well, this is the type of game that Jack Grealish signed for Manchester City to feature in. He's hardly seen any action at all in the Champions League knockout stage. Just a 20-odd minute cameo against Atletico at the Etihad, but he comes on here at the Bernabeu for the final 12, replacing Gabi Jesus. It's Manchester City's third change of 5. They can make 2 more, but they would have to make it as a double substitution. Throw taken by Mendy, back for Nacho. 78 gone. Real Madrid 0, Manchester City 1.
Yeah, City now playing with that double pivot, Rodri and Gundogan in there, who's a bit deeper. Got Mahrez still out on the right side, Grealish in his customary left-hand side position, Bernardo Silva just in behind Phil Foden up the middle. As for Real Madrid, lots of changes to their forward line. They've just tried to top it up with the likes of Rodrigo and Asensio, but they haven't been close to creating any real sort of situation since the goal.
Well, have a free kick. Camavinga's taken it, finds Nacho. Nacho back for Camavinga again, midway inside his own half. Nacho driving it forward, left-footed towards the edge of the penalty area. Past Cancelo, appeals for handball. Referee says nothing doing. Diaz gets it back to his goalkeeper and is cleared. Gundogan can't hold it up in the midfield for Manchester City, and Real Madrid have it back again with Camavinga. Camavinga, the young Frenchman who's got such a fantastic future ahead of him. Still only 19. Cancelo down towards Mahrez. Mahrez on the right flank, bringing it forward. The Manchester City goal scorer to Bernardo Silva, right hand side of the penalty area, trying to nudge the ball past Nacho, and it's come off and gone out of play from Manchester City corner, which has the dual effect of running seconds off the clock and keeping the ball at the right end of the field.
That's exactly what they need to do, City, now. Keep that ball. Keep it in good areas. Allow players to get a breather, recover, regroup, keep your shape. Expect a little final onslaught from Real Madrid. They usually do. But deal with it.
Well, they've come within minutes of being eliminated before. It's going to take something special for Real Madrid to be able to pull this one around. They need to score twice in the final 10. Manchester City on the front foot again, but ball that's punted forward bounces on the edge of the D and away from Grealish through to Courtois. It's just an exercise in match management, maintaining possession, maintaining the lead, and maintaining those hopes of a first ever European Cup in the process. Carvajal taking a throw, a very good quick throw for Real Madrid as well. Benzema pulling away inside the penalty area. Zinchenko's done brilliantly. Track back, blocked the angle for the pullback for Benzema and was able to clear. Gets it forward towards halfway. Foden is there, but can't find Grealish. Grealish then, in getting possession back, has pushed Carvajal to the ground, and it's a free kick to Real Madrid.
Yeah. Really good defensive work, as you said there, Jim, from Zinchenko. Rodrigo for the first time getting to the byline, looking for Benzema on the cutback, couldn't find him.
Camavinga over the top, Benzema pulling it down, twisting his man, good save from Edison, but the flag does then come up.
Great save though. Yes, the flag's gone up. Karim Benzema having to steal just a little bit of a yard on those two central defenders to get away from them. He done so, he got the ball down in the box, hit it with his left foot. Good work from Edison. Right there, ready, on his toes. And then of course the flag goes up, but just concentration now for Manchester City. All the hard work has been done. Keep that ball.
And they got Fernandinho to come on in a moment and use his experience and guile and Fernandinho-like attributes, let's say, to make sure that Real Madrid can't find a way through. 8 to go. Gundogan just playing it back. Cleared by Laporte, who's walked the yellow card tightrope tonight, not at all precariously. He's done well after the very early caution that he picked up. Camavinga sliding in, wins it back there from Bernardo Silva. A good challenge, and then one in turn from Rodri, who read the situation and just got it away from Asensio in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, really good work there. Bernardo Silva actually did fantastic initially to burst away from that Real Madrid midfield, but got pulled up, got the ball pinched from him, and then Rodri got it back for his team straight away. Gundogan's done well since he's come into the game. I think he's done very well. Again, he's got that calm, cool head, and he's got to retain possession, not being too adventurous, doesn't need to now. Sit there with Rodri, protect that ball when when they're looking to go into Benzema's feet or Asensio. He's going to help Rodri out and just trying to deny that.
Militao driving it forward. Zinchenko heads it away, and Grealish will come across. Feed Gundogan in quickly to Foden. Foden to Gundogan, nice reverse ball out towards the City left, which is the far touchline as we look at it. They're kicking from left to right. Grealish making his way forward. Was he caught there by Eder Militao? Referee has given the free kick Manchester City's way and shows a yellow card to Real Madrid's Brazilian centre-half.
Perfect from Jack Grealish. That's exactly what he's been put on there for. Give the ball to him and let him run at people and invite those challenges like he does. He does it so naturally, so well. Sometimes I always think with Jack he could stay on his feet a bit more, but tonight's not the night for that. Invite the challenge and take it.
Here's the change. Fernandinho coming on, and Riyad Mahrez receives the congratulations of his teammates as he leaves the field. The man whose 24th goal of the season surely has sealed Manchester City's place in the final. 11 goals now in his last 16 Champions League games. It's a very impressive record that he's got. Man for the big occasion, and it was a spectacular finish.
They've got a free kick wide here, Jim. Gundogan's over it. They've only got Laporte in there. Now they're starting to get numbers in the box. Now Rodri and Fernandinho are in there.
5 to go. City lead 5-3 on aggregate. And it's going to be driven in right-footed with pace in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Valverde came back and headed it away. Goes back out towards Gundogan, who's got the captain's armband now. He lays it back for Bernardo Silva. Chipped over the top by him. Fernandinho will pick it up and take it down towards the corner flag. The player who scored that stoppage time goal against Leeds the other day. Back from him to Grealish. Grealish coming in off the left flank has retained possession very well. He's done well since he's come on, Grealish. Back for Cancelo. Right-footed effort. Oh, what a good strike that was. He was saved, beaten away by Courtois, but a snapshot out of nothing from Cancelo. Arrowing towards the top left-hand corner. And Courtois dived to his right to be able to get two hands to it to knock it away. But with 5 minutes to go, City still lead on the night and 5-3 on aggregate. And they'll bring it forward again here with Rodri. Back out towards Grealish. Grealish coming in off the left flank, just plays a conservative ball back for Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Gundogan. Gundogan just runs into space. The space was behind him. He then played it for Fernandinho, caught by Camavinga. And every whistle from referee Daniele Orsato is music to the ears of those Manchester City players, giving him another free kick, the chance to disrupt the game and waste a little bit more time. They have it again now with Fernandinho. You would talk sport. 86 minutes gone. More live European action tomorrow as West Ham go to Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers are at home to Leipzig. Both British clubs a goal down on aggregate, and they kick off at 8 o'clock on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 respectively. City bring the ball forward here with Grealish. He's inside the penalty area. Still Jack Grealish goes! Oh, siphoned it across the edge of the line almost, inside the 6-yard box, and it took a nick off Mendy away from Foden. That would have been that. And Real Madrid are able to get it away.
Brilliant football from City. Some one-touch play from right to left. Ends up with Grealish, as you say, Jim, almost scoring. Brilliant effort.
And now Gundogan has done brilliantly to tee up Grealish again, and the angle is tight, and this time he drags it across the face of goal and just wide.
That would do wonders for Jack Grealish as well if he could nick a goal here to really settle everyone's nerves and to just finally put this game to bed. And he's done brilliantly, as you quite rightly said, Jim, since he's come on. He's done everything right. He's teased Real Madrid, he's run at them, he's invited challenges, he's got free kicks, and he's very nearly scored on 2 occasions.
City have a corner. They have time on their side. It's ticking down quickly. They have the scoreline on their side. And they have a place in the Champions League final in their sights. Cancelo helping the ball inside the box, claimed by Courtois. Real Madrid have 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. They need to score twice.
Yeah, didn't really need to cross that there, João Cancelo. Just limited numbers in the box. He's wide on the right. He's tried to swing it in. Courtois reads it, comes out and grabs it.
Mendy. Straight ball over the top of Cancelo. Vinicius, even at this stage of the game, still breathtakingly quick, chasing the ball forward, brought down by Rodrigo. Benzema takes over. Rodri knocks it away from him. Gundogan coming back to try and mop up. Almost showed too much of it to Asensio. But Zinchenko gets it away. And there's always the outball now of Grealish on the left-hand side, who's able to play on the half-turn and try and take on Camavinga. This time he couldn't get past him, but it goes out for a throw. That'll be taken on the Real Madrid right, and we're in the 89th minute. And Manchester City can afford to concede one and still make it through. Here's Mendy. Mendy playing it down the left-hand touchline. Vinicius running towards the edge of the penalty area. Pulled back by him to Rodrigo. Back for Vinicius again. Vinicius left-footed, clipped in, too deep. Zinchenko heads it away. And then Bernardo Silva's done brilliantly to pull that down out of the sky and try and take it on. Valverde comes in with a block challenge. Loose ball ricochets out to the Real Madrid right, but they're forced back towards halfway. Eder Militao to Camavinga. Camavinga now through the midfield towards Nacho. And Nacho is 4 or 5 yards inside Manchester City territory and plays it forward. Rodrigo almost able to get in, but Cancelo read the danger, sweeps up, mocks it over into an unused part of the stand on the far touchline and out for a throw, which they've taken quickly. We're in the 90th minute now. Ball played in. Sliding challenge comes in on the edge of the 6-yard box. Asensio just couldn't reach and get anything on it. And it beats him and goes out of play for a throw to Real Madrid. That was close. They've had some moments, but they haven't scored. Now an opportunity for Rodrigo. Rodrigo to Nacho. Nacho to Camavinga. Camavinga's left-footed ball clipped in. Benzema volleys it back across the face of goal, and there's one back. And it is going to be a precarious, fractious last few moments, because Rodrigo has got in at the near post and has touched in Benzema's cross, and Manchester City, within sight of the finishing line, aren't there yet. 1-1, and the aggregate lead is back to 1 as we go into stoppage time.
Great play from Karim Benzema. I'm just looking at him. I think Cancelo does play him onside. He does fantastically well to hook it back with his left foot, and it's really good work from Rodrigo just to clip that one in past Ederson. Now we've got a frantic final few minutes. How long, Jim?
6.
Wow, that's a long time. That's an awful long time for Manchester City. So now they have to narrow down, regroup, and make sure that they take no risks whatsoever.
And you can hear the change in the atmosphere around us. And Real Madrid are on the front foot again here. Are they going to get out of jail yet again?
No.
Vinicius trying to get inside the penalty area. City had to make sure that they didn't dive in and commit themselves. They didn't. Laporte defended it soundly enough. It's cleared. But back it comes from Mendy. High ball inside the area. Headed down Rodrigo, who scored a Champions League hat-trick as a teenager for Real Madrid. Scored a big goal for them tonight, potentially. Carvajal's ball in here. Oh, it's in again. Carvajal flashing the cross in. And Real Madrid have scored twice in a minute and a half. And it's ecstasy for Rodrigo. As the ball came in, Ederson is beaten. A flying header goes into the top left-hand corner. And Pep Guardiola looks stunned. Stands motionless on the edge of his technical area, trying to comprehend what he has just seen. His side, so good away from home defensively, have conceded twice in a minute and a half. Carvajal with the cross. Rodrigo came to meet it. Fired ahead and not really into the corner, but fast enough past Ederson. And it's 2-1 to Real Madrid. And they were down and out. They were down and out against PSG. They were down and out against Chelsea. They were certainly down and out here. With the game ticking into the 90th minute, they needed 2. They've got them. And we're in stoppage time. And it's all square on aggregate again.
Do you know, City never kept the ball after they conceded that first goal. They had the kick-off, and they couldn't keep it, and they still can't keep it. And here they come again.
They scored on 90 and 90 plus 2. And Benzema's got it for Real Madrid, and he's through towards Rodrigo. The angle was tight, and Ederson comes out, makes a save, and he goes out for a corner. And City now are holding on for dear life. They were so nearly there. And the whole complexion of the tie has completely changed. In the blink of an eye, another epic Champions League semi-final. And another ball is flashed inside the area, and Ederson gets hold of it. And now Manchester City will be able to calm things down. And you think back to the 2 Jack Grealish chances, good chances, only 5-6 minutes ago. Either of those goes in, and they're there. They're in the final. Now they're on the back foot again. Benzema trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Can't. City will bring it away. It's 2-1 to Real Madrid in the most astonishing turnaround that you could wish to see. Manchester City within touching distance, but they haven't made it yet. Still can, of course, but they need to score or win a penalty shootout. Foden bringing it forward here for City.
Go on, son.
Still Foden tries a little reverse ball. Nacho is there, gets it away. Now Grealish has got it. Grealish past the referee, finding for Fernandinho. Fernandinho takes it on. Was he pushed to the ground? Yes, he was. Free kick to Manchester City. 2 yards outside the box. Trying to send it. They've taken it quickly to Foden. Foden always missed. On the turn. Over the top right-hand corner. And just for a moment, you look back and thought of that brilliantly, quickly taken Alexander-Arnold corner in the Champions League semi-final against Barcelona. And it was that again. Fernandinho with a free kick, spotted it down, took it quickly, found Foden. They weren't ready for it. Snapshot, misses the target, and it's still 2-1 with 2 minutes of stoppage time to go.
Jim, I'm astounded at what's going on in this ground. What is it about this place that makes this happen? It's just incredible. This team were beaten, they were done. And they have found something from somewhere, and they are now right back in the thick of things.
Free kick to Manchester City for an offside. And Osado did try and play an advantage, but Zinchenko lost possession. He's pulled it back. It's a free kick to City. So 6 minutes were prescribed. There's been a goal and a lengthy celebration in that 6 minutes. We've got a minute to go, but they're going to add on probably 30 seconds on top of that, I think. And City need a score to get their noses back in front. It's heading for extra time as things stand at the moment. And in some ways, it's been a Champions League semi-final tonight. It's been a bit of a slow burner. But it's caught light to Manchester City's cost. Here's Grealish, forward now. Gundogan, clever little step over. Bernardo Silva coming in behind him, but he couldn't get there. Now Real Madrid have it. Fernandinho does what he does so well, and then Valverde comes across and smacks him to the ground with a late challenge, and Valverde is booked, and City have a free kick 25 yards outside the Real Madrid penalty area. It's Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1. They've scored on 90 and 90 plus 2. City so close to being there. Extra time on the agenda at the moment. Fernandinho's okay. He's getting back to his feet. Real Madrid have a player down injured. Upfield, I think it's Asensio. He's going to be all right as well.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Can City score from this deep line free kick to win it?
Listen, anything can happen here. Anything can happen. Don't be surprised if City put something in the box and find another way through. It's just that sort of night once more.
Zinchenko takes it, fires it in, defensive header from Camavinga. It's going to be an easy clearance of Benzema. It's come off Camavinga, no time to take the corner. And we go to extra time. And that, unfortunately, was extra time snatched from the jaws of a victory that seemed impossible not to materialise. But 2 goals for Rodrigo off the Real Madrid bench in the space of a minute and a half make the full-time score after 90 minutes. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 1. It's 5-5 on aggregate, and we've got another half hour ahead of us. Well, the debate for any potential knock-on effect of playing extra time, the psychological effect of what's happened tonight, looking ahead to the games that City still have coming up in the league, is a debate for another day. But I think a salient point, let's worry about the here and now. Half an hour to go. Manchester City were there. They were there. And I bet some of you have booked flights and have booked hotels. And that day in Paris might yet come to fruition. But they've got work to do. We start extra time with Manchester City in their change kit, very dark blue, kicking from right to left in this second half. And Real Madrid in all white, defending the end away to our left-hand side, and play stops at the beginning of the second half because there's a pitch invader who comes on with a red flag, and Stewart tries to take him out with a sliding challenge, and he rushes over to Benzema, who made no attempt to take evasive action. He embraces Benzema, which could have been a very awkward moment. That 4 have got hold of him now, 4 stewards, and they will lead him away. Benzema, to his immense credit, looks unruffled and unfazed, and the incident is quickly behind us, but that could have been a nasty moment. So 2-1 to Real Madrid. I'll run through the 2 teams for you again in a moment. With Camavinga in possession, Valverde has gone down. He's fouled. The referee says play on. Cancelo in strongly. City on the back foot again. Opportunity for Vinicius to set up. Benzema, right-footed effort. And he went through the hands of Ederson, but off at an angle. Not Geronimo Rulli style. And to the left-hand side of the penalty area for Ederson to be able to pick it up. Here's Andy Townsend.
Well, so let's focus on what's got to happen right now. City need to get Gundogan and Rodri back in possession of the ball, as well as Fernandinho. They've got to start finding Bernardo, Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. They've got to get into those little pockets of space like they did midway through that second period in order to start carving Real Madrid up.
Here is Fernandinho, exuding experience, wide towards Foden. Foden looking to slip the ball down the side of Mendy. And it's won back by Real Madrid. Finishes back for Camavinga to the edge of the penalty area and play back inside the box for Thibaut Courtois for Real Madrid. We've got Carvajal at right back, Eder Militao and Nacho at centre half, and Mendy at left back. Valverde in the midfield with Camavinga. He's got Rodrigo, the scorer of the 2 goals, to his right. Ball played in here towards Benzema. Penalty to Real Madrid. Benzema getting there first, and Daniele Orsato points to the spot. The City players protest a collective innocence that's going to fall on deaf ears. The VAR will have a look at the incident, but Karim Benzema going down, and Manchester City's night might be about to go from bad to worse. Penalty to Real Madrid in the 3rd minute of extra time.
Yeah, Camavinga makes a great run. The cutback is for Benzema. It looks like Ruben Dias doesn't get there, I don't think. Let's have another, I'll see it from this angle now. No, Benzema makes first contact. Ruben Dias commits to the challenge. How much of a contact there is, I don't really know, but Benzema is always going to go down over an outstretched leg. Do you know what? There's hardly any contact, but it's the sort of decision for years and years we've seen given in European football. Unbelievable change in this game.
Well, Benzema scored a Panenka-style penalty in the final 10 minutes of the first leg. And boy, has that had an impact now, as the tie has continued to progress. And it's Karim Benzema who spots this one down again. Scored a spot kick at the Etihad, as I mentioned. He has missed 3 in the last month. So it's by no means a formality that he scores. But he has the chance here in his 750th career appearance to score another priceless Real Madrid goal. Right-footed, he addresses it and slots it into the bottom right-hand corner, sending Ederson the wrong way. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 1. They have a 6-5 aggregate lead. And now City, for the first time in the tie, are playing catch-up. And they've got 26 minutes to score to give themselves a chance of getting to the final. What a cruel game this can be.
Well, no doubt that the coolest head inside the Bernabeu for those few moments was Karim Benzema, as he strolled up to the ball and sent Ederson the wrong way. Touched the ball into the side net and just inside the post. The perfect penalty.
Three goals in 9 minutes of action for Real Madrid. They scored on 90 and 90 plus 2, and now in extra time on 95. And the impossible in the eyes of the Madrileños all around us is coming to fruition in front of their very eyes. They've never stopped believing. Never perhaps until the last 6 or 7 minutes of normal time. They certainly believe now. They're in the box seat. And if Manchester City, with everything that has happened over the last 10-15 minutes or so in real time, Manchester City can pull it off from here, it's going to be another epic comeback, but this time a Mancunian one. Here's Cancelo playing it out towards Phil Foden. Foden getting towards the byline. Bernardo Silva sliding in. City have a corner and they have a chance for an immediate riposte.
Yeah, now look, the one thing against Real Madrid, you can create chances. City now has been speaking about belief and how much belief there's been in this stadium over the last 20 minutes. Now they've got to believe that they can find a way, that they can create a decent opportunity to strike back.
A corner from the Manchester City right, very deep. Diaz going up for it, got his head to it. It was volleyed away though before it could become dangerous. Asensio with the clearance. Zinchenko is back, going on the end of the ball forward from the other number 11 on the field. City's number 11 works it back to his keeper. 96 and a half gone. 3-1 to Real Madrid. 6-5 on aggregate to Ancelotti's man. This will be a night that they will talk about in these parts for years. Talk about epic semi-finals before a ball was kicked tonight. This is going to be another one. Whatever happens from here, this is another one of those nights that you will never forget. Unfortunately, from a City perspective at the moment, it's one that you won't forget for all the wrong reasons, but there is still time. 23 minutes to be precise. So you have to make sure they're just playing Real Madrid and not the situation here, not playing the hangover from what has happened. They get a free kick as Grealish goes down. Fernandinho goes in there as his minder and says a few words to Nacho. Free kick to City, not in a shooting position, but in an area where they will be able to get bodies forward. Gundogan standing over it and Phil Foden's there as well. City have three in a line at the far post: Laporte, Diaz and Rodri. Grealish is in there. Gundogan swinging it in. Heads go up and it's knocked away by a Real Madrid player. Back out for Zinchenko. Takes it on past Rodrigo. Stands up across towards Fernandinho, whose left-footed volley on the turn goes way over the bar.
Good play from Zinchenko. Kept it alive. Stood the cross up. Fernandinho's there. Lashes it wildly over. Substitution, Jim. Rodri's coming off.
So Rodri off and Raheem Sterling is coming on. Change being made in the 99th minute. Sterling for Rodri. And Pep going for it, making that kind of change.
Yeah, got to now. Got to. And they need also, you've got to keep trying to top the team up with energy and pace. Sterling will give that.
Here's Aymeric Laporte clearing out towards the right hand side. We just switched on, expecting to hear the sports bar. We're in extra time here at the Bernabeu. It's 3-1 to Real Madrid, who are a goal down, needing two going into the 90th minute of normal time. They got those two. They got another in the opening 5 minutes of extra time, and it's Manchester City now playing catch up. Fair to say, just a bit to react to on the sports bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy, which follows the conclusion of this game, whenever that might be, here at the Bernabeu, and also more reaction tomorrow morning, looking ahead to tomorrow night's European action. Europa League semi-finals live on TalkSport. If they're anything like as exciting as the last two Champions League nights, you can't miss anything. If you've got the app, you won't, because you can swipe left for TalkSport 2 and Rangers against Leipzig, and swipe right for TalkSport and Eintracht Frankfurt against West Ham, with both British sides with work to do in those games. Breakfast tomorrow, looking ahead to all of that, and that's with Laura, award-winning Laura Woods, along with Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbolahor tomorrow here on TalkSport. What will the headline be from here? Is it going to be Manchester City snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, an elimination at the semi-final stage in the most heartbreaking manner, or is it going to be a courageous comeback against all the odds from a position that at the moment is far from hopeless, but just the way that events have transpired, it's going to take huge psychological wherewithal to get the job done. Here's Zinchenko now for City, left-hand side of the box. Just checks back out towards the corner of the penalty area, takes it on again from Grealish. It might yet come to his feet. Does it break for Grealish?
Oh yes!
Zinchenko goes down and made sure the referee realised that he was caught there, and there was no significant contact. Play goes on and there's no real complaint from Zinchenko at the non-award of a penalty. Camavinga brings it forward now for Real Madrid. Another goal for Real Madrid, and you would imagine that Manchester City are cooked, but that said, you can never say never. We've seen that on several occasions in the Champions League this season.
How's that a yellow card for Raheem Sterling there? He's just made an outstanding challenge. He gets a yellow card for chasing 40 yards back. Now the referee's coming over to him, and speaking of Pep Guardiola, he's quite rightly fuming at that decision. That's an outstanding challenge. And Rodrigo goes rolling and rolling and rolling right in front of the technical area. Everybody jumping up, going crazy. Referee not only gives him a free kick, books Raheem Sterling. That's diabolical.
So he's coming from the left-hand side of Rodrigo. Hasn't come in from behind him. He's come in. He's won the ball cleanly. Contact from that point is inevitable, but he hasn't gone in stud showing or high to win the ball. He's won it cleanly. Rodrigo's bound to go down, and the referee has just completely misjudged him.
At this stage of the game, there's nothing in it for Raheem Sterling just to foul, just to upend a player, just to break the game up. They don't want to do that, City. They need to keep the ball. He won the ball. What it does, it allows Real Madrid now to have a breather. They're all walking around, they're all sorting things out, they're all making sure that they all know, they're all singing off the same song sheet for what's left of this first period. And it unfairly breaks the game up. Rodrigo's still down on the floor.
Not quite sure how we've arrived at a situation tonight where Sterling has had more yellow cards than Casemiro, but
good shout.
There you go, it is what it is. 102 gone, he's back on his feet. A few words being exchanged by Vinicius and Grealish, but play's going to restart with a free kick going to be taken by Asensio. In fact, he runs away, sprints down the right-hand side quickly for Carvajal. Carvajal takes it the other way instead, working it forward into the feet of Vinicius. It's knocked away. City with the opportunity on the counter-attack with Foden. Foden's got Grealish to his left-hand side. He's played back for Grealish. Real Madrid are going to make another change in a moment. Danny Ceballos, the one-time Arsenal player, is going to be coming on, but City can work it forward. 2 minutes to go in this first period of extra time. High ball inside the box, just too high for Gundogan. Carvajal almost turned into trouble with Foden bearing down on him, but he hooks it away and out for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester City left. It's 3-1 to Real Madrid in extraordinary circumstances, and 6-5, to Ancelotti's men on aggregate. And City are heading out unless they can find a goal. Gundogan to Sterling. Sterling, left-hand side of the penalty area. Little double ricochet, comes back to him inside the penalty area, and it's cleared. And it goes out of play, but as the referee pulled play back and said it was a free kick for a handball by Raheem, he has. It's a free kick to Real on the right-hand side of the box. Benzema's coming off, Ceballos on, a defensive-minded change by Ancelotti, but Benzema leaves having scored the all-important goal as things stand right now, but a record equaling goal, his 10th in the knockout stages of the Champions League this season. 3 of those that come against Manchester City, leaves to a standing ovation from all the home supporters. Ceballos on to replace him with just over 16 minutes of playing time to go.
Yeah. Another incredible night's work for Karim Benzema. Worked incredibly hard, only had a couple of chances really to score from open play. But when you need someone to step up in this cauldron at such a crucial moment to slot the penalty in and make no mistake about it, that's exactly what he did.
Zinchenko with a touch, Laporte with a tired clearance, just pirouetting high up in the air and then coming back down towards the touchline. The ball spinning down and helped forward down the Real Madrid right before it hits Zinchenko and goes out of play for a throw. Real Madrid supporters in the crowd as the clock ticks around to 105 minutes, willing the referee to blow his whistle to signal the turnaround in extra time, but there should be a fair bit of time to be added on by way of stoppages before we get that far. Carvajal hooks the ball inside the penalty area. Asensio helping it on. There's a big appeal for handball against the City defender. Cancelo is in there to knock it away. I just wonder whether the VAR, Massimiliano Irrati, is going to have an interest in that as we go into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first period of extra time. The Real Madrid players surround the referee saying that it should be a penalty, but looking at our screens, there's no indication that there is a VAR check ongoing.
No.
And players allowed to continue.
It looks like it hit João Cancelo's arm, but it came off of a head 2 yards in front of him. Absolutely, his arm was in the same position. There was no intent there to possibly fend the ball with his arm. Definitely not a pen.
Zinchenko to Grealish to Gundogan. Gundogan knocking it square for Fernandinho. Fernandinho chipping it inside the area. Sterling coming round the back, nods it down. Foden can't get possession and turn all in one. City then win it back outside the area with Silva to Fernandinho. Cancelo with a reverse ball to find his countryman Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side of the box. Sterling trying to get inside the penalty area. Silva has it now. Silva trying to help it on. Camavinga stands firm, rifles it to safety, just getting it off the island and out for a throw to allow Real Madrid the chance to settle back, regain their shape, but City will come again with a minute of stoppage time in the first period of extra time to come. Sports Bar following us here at the Bernabeu, where Manchester City as things stand are heading out, having been seconds away really from going through. Here's Grealish. Grealish down towards Zinchenko. A yard in off the left-hand touchline. He's only 10 yards or so from the corner flag. He's just forced to retreat a little. Time against City here. As Gundogan works it square to Ruben Dias. Can he get a shot in? Thought better of it. There were better options. There's still a little bit of time. Sterling back for Cancelo. Cancelo clipping it in right-footed. Little flick. Fernandinho misses. Far post on the stretch. Difficult chance. It was a little flick header about 8 yards from goal that took one defender out of it. But Fernandinho stretching in the far post. The angle was prohibitive by the time it got there. And it's a brilliant save from Courtois to flick it out of his reach.
Yeah, Fernandinho's kind of gambling. He's gone in, rushed in towards Thibaut Courtois. The ball's bounced and he just couldn't adjust his feet in time.
Half-time in extra time. The first period of extra time one that has seen Manchester City fall behind in the tie for the very first time. They're 6-5 down on aggregate. A massive 15 minutes in their season, and history lies ahead. But Real Madrid themselves are an object lesson in never believing it's over until the full-time whistle. Manchester City have to take a leaf out of that book. They have plenty of pressure and good, intense possession in the last 3 minutes of that first period of extra time. And if they can replicate that over the next 15, they're going to have big chances. Yeah. It's just a question of whether they can take one or maybe even two.
Yeah, I think they can create chances. I really do in this period. I'm sure City are too good, and they know everything's on the line here now in this 15-minute spell. They've got to force the issue. They have to get the ball to those key players like Foden and Sterling in particular to make something happen.
Well, Phil Foden has gone down here. He got himself sandwiched in between two Real Madrid players. And the referee has given a free kick Real Madrid's way. He said, I think, that Foden has made a back for Eder Militao. He had absolutely nowhere to go there, Phil Foden. He couldn't move because he was sandwiched. He had one Real Madrid player one side of him, one the other. That is another. From here, without having seen a replay, another really strange decision from Orsata.
Bewildering decision once more from our man in the middle who's refereeing this game. Phil Foden there's got Militao. He's about 1.5 feet taller than Foden, climbing all over him, and yet somehow he's impeded the Madrid centre-half.
Free kick taken by Real Madrid. And it's played out to the left-hand side. It's a very clever little drag back heel by Mendy. There's another collision off the ball there. Eder Militao and Foden. Eder Militao going to ground. Foden has to make sure that the red mist doesn't descend it, because if there's going to be a fight back from City, clearly they're going to have to do with 11 on the pitch. You can't imagine that if they go a man light, they've got any chance at all. Foden, who lives and breathes this club, bleeds blue, has just got to keep his head. You can understand why he feels hard done by, but he has to keep his head. Here's Grealish. Bring the ball forward. That was brilliant. Now Foden. Has he got a moment of magic in him? He's got four players all around. He's picked out a piece of a pass. Forward towards Raheem Sterling. Chests it down, but Sterling in trying to stretch and get the ball. Catches Nacho. And it's a free kick to Real Madrid. But Foden there just gets merit.
What about the switch there from Phil Foden? He's got four white shirts around him. He pings it with his left foot 40 yards across the field to Raheem Sterling. Takes it on his chest. And again, any little touch on any of these Real Madrid players now, they are hitting the floor. They are buying free kicks. Don't do it. You've got to allow them maybe to keep the ball, to take the ball, and just keep the thing in play. Every stoppage gives them a chance to reset.
And here's another stoppage because Eder Militao has gone down injured just as Courtois was preparing to take the free kick. The referee is calling for a stretcher. Phil Foden goes across. I don't know whether that's in concern or mock concern or just assessment of the situation. A player that he's been in an individual battle with of late. We've hardly seen any football in the 3 minutes that we've played in this second period of extra time so far. With a reminder that the sports bar is coming up for you at the conclusion of this game. 03717 22 33 44. If only there was something to talk about with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy tonight. It's the problem for Real Madrid if Militao can't continue. They've got Alaba, who isn't fit, as far as we know, on the bench. I mean, fit enough to be named amongst the substitutes. They've also got Jesus Vallejo, who Wolves fans will tell you is not necessarily a player you might want to rely on to keep a clean sheet in the last 12 minutes of a Champions League semi-final. But we'll see. It looks as though Vallejo is getting ready for action.
I think Militao's just got cramp, almost got it in his groin and at the top of his thigh. The way he's moving, he just hit the floor with no one around him, clutching at the top of his leg. So at the moment, as we restart, he's off the field.
And it goes without saying that the officials have to make sure that all of the time is correctly added on. They certainly did that at the end of extra time. They added the 6 minutes on, and I think there could be too many complaints. City were doing their best just to stall things on restarts, as you would, and there's no complaint that Real Madrid are doing it now. But the referee has to be strong and make sure that he adds the time on. Ball is back with Courtois, clears it left-footed over halfway. Laporte going up for it, heads it down. Gundogan with his back to the direction of play, chests it down and plays it back for Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Gundogan. Laporte to Ruben Dias. Just over 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, in extra time, with Manchester City needing to score. But remember, Real Madrid much deeper in the game than this, needed 2 and got them. So it's still on for City, but they need something spectacular, and it's getting niggly out there as well as the finishing line approaches again, the second finishing line after this extra lap that the players are doing. There's a little nudge there from Vinicius on Cancelo. City had possession, with Grealish coming back inside his own half of the centre circle and just rolling the ball into the feet of Joao Cancelo ahead of him. To Fernandinho, back for Cancelo. Cancelo inside the centre circle for Ruben Dias. To Raheem Sterling. Sterling out to the City left for Zinchenko, who's midway inside the Real Madrid half, 9.5 to go. So Real Madrid supporters, you can hear, understandably. Bernardo Silva just given another shove there off the ball. The referee spots it, stops play. Vinicius arguing the toss, but it's the second time that he's pushed a player after the ball had gone in the last 30 seconds or so. Gundogan's going to come across to take it. City free kick with 9 to go.
The big men going up, Laporte and Ruben Dias, as Ilkay Gundogan and Phil Foden stand over the ball, sort of 45 yards out really, on the angle. So it's going to be clipped in, no direct shot here.
It's Gundogan high towards the far post. Dias looking to try and head the ball back across the face of the penalty area. Grealish picks it up. He's got the better of Ceballos, trying to make something happen. Pulls it back for Sterling, corner of the penalty area. Nice check from him. Can he deliver and get the ball in? He can't. He had 2 Real Madrid players in front of him. He had just a fraction of a second, but time to deliver, and he couldn't. And it's hit the Real Madrid players and gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on their right flank.
Just Raheem Sterling there taking too long, pressure relieved. He had the chance to put it back in the box, whip across him. They'll just be happy to hoof it away, knock it out for a corner, anything. So keep applying that pressure. This team can concede goals, Real Madrid.
Real Madrid will bring it forward. Cancelo's there to knock it away. Well, they're sticking an extra tier on the top of this impressive structure here at the Bernabeu, and it might be the Manchester City fans in the away end who are providing the tier at the moment, because this will be hard to take. Real Madrid on the front foot, 7.5 to go. We're midway through the second period of extra time. The yellow card is shown. Zinchenko with the block off. Every free kick is being greeted with almost a lap of honour. Some of the Real Madrid players at the moment, and Eder Militao is down again, and he might not be able to continue now. There's plenty of time. So as I say, we've seen 8 minutes of action in this second period of extra time, and probably 4 minutes of football.
Well, if I'm a Real Madrid player, I'm saying to Eder Militao, either get up and get off, or get on with the game, because the last thing you want him to do is to labour laying on the floor, holding his groin, limping around, because all the referee's going to do is add more time, Jim, and it's going to be a real nervy last few minutes for Real Madrid, even in this position. you don't want the referee to potentially have more time. It's the last thing you want, so he needs to get himself off the field.
And that is the message actually that is being relayed to him now by a suited and booted Real Madrid official who's over there with one of the other members of the medical staff, and they're indicating that they've got to change it. So Eder Militao's race is run, and Vallejo is going to come on to replace him. Made his first Real Madrid start in 2.5 years at the weekend. And he made 7 appearances for Wolves. He scored 2 own goals in his last 4 European appearances. But he's coming on here, and they're making a double change because Vinicius is also coming off, and Lucas Vázquez will replace him.
Yeah. Again, they have a chance to draw breath here, but the City players are actually now crowding around the referee and saying, make sure you have all this under control, make sure that we get the time that we justly deserve here, because Real Madrid are, of course, in the box seat. They're taking as long as they possibly can at every opportunity. Vinicius is walking off to rapturous applause, but he's strolling off as the subs come on.
Well, it's no exaggeration to say that there should already, I think, be 5 minutes of added time at the end of this period of extra time. Whether we get them, we'll wait and see. We've got 5 minutes before we get to stoppage time at the end of extra time. Real Madrid have now made all 6 changes. City can still make 2 more, but they've only got 1 really experienced player to bring on, Amat Ake, in terms of the outfield players, and he is ready, but he's not coming on just yet. 115 on the clock, 3-1 to Real Madrid, 6-5 they lead on aggregate, and Grealish has conceded another free kick over on that far touchline as Real Madrid just try to maintain possession. They've done it effectively with Lucas Vázquez. His first contribution is to win a free kick. More time, understandably, run off the clock. You'd want your side to do it under those circumstances. Real Madrid are past masters at it. Valverde from the free kick, actually working forward quite quickly, trying to get it inside the penalty area. It was forced away by Sterling down towards the corner flag. He's tried to buy a corner. Sterling will try and bring it away here for Manchester City. Got round the first challenge, but knocked out of Camavinga. It goes out of play for a throw. We're in the 117th minute at 3-1 Real Madrid.
Yeah, he's done well, Camavinga, since he's come into the game. He's had added energy and pace into what was a bit of a flat-looking midfield at times tonight. I think he's played particularly well for Real Madrid, I really do, but City have just got to keep going, got to keep believing. Real Madrid aren't hitting the halfway line, nowhere near it. It's a real low block from them.
Ball is played forward by City, bounces away from Sterling. Vázquez clears it. He's on at right back, incidentally. Carvajal has moved into the middle, and he now is trying to whip the crowd up that little bit more. Carvajal playing on the right of 3 centre-halves with Nacho and Vallejo, and Mendy playing at left wing-back and Lucas Vázquez at right wing-back. Bodies behind the ball. 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Remember, Real Madrid, how could you forget, needed 2 at this stage at the end of the 90 minutes and got them. Manchester City just need 1 moment of inspiration. They need to be able to trade on 1 Real Madrid mistake. But can they create anything? They haven't been able to play at any tempo. Such has been the disruption of this second period of extra time. They've got a free kick now inside their own box, won by Fernandinho. Chance to try and get the ball upfield. Everyone way forward here by Ederson. 2.5 to go plus stoppage time. You would talk sport. Manchester City on the brink of elimination. High ball played forward, headed away by Vallejo, the dark-haired thick-set defender. Ball back in from Cancelo. Grealish stumbled, which meant that he couldn't really attack it. Lucas Vázquez with a free header away. Zinchenko mops up back for Fernandinho. High ball forward, high up in the air from Fernandinho. Cancelo tried to help it on, but Mendy's won it back. Poor ball forward from him. Bernardo Silva fouled. Referee says play on, because Ceballos' challenge came as Cancelo maintained possession, and Zinchenko works it forward now for Sterling. 2 minutes to go, and City need to score, and Sterling with a dynamic run inside the penalty area, goes down. No fouls, as the referee. Would have been a free kick, not a penalty. But the referee said there was no foul on him, and it's a goal kick which Courtois will take. And by the time he takes it, there's only going to be 90 seconds to go.
Tell you what, there is a foul on him, because Lucas Vazquez puts his arm across. They shut the door, 2 players on Raheem Sterling there. It's outside the box. But again, all you can do at this stage for the City boys is bounce back up on your feet and get on with the game and just hope you can create one last opportunity. It's looking like now it's out of just pure hope rather than expectation. It really is at this stage. They're out on their feet, the City players. You've got Laporte playing right up front. You've got Diaz every time they get a chance to go forward, running up the middle. It's just hit and miss, harem scarum stuff right now.
Vazquez wires into a challenge. Diaz heads the ball away. Gundogan helps it on. Straight out of play for a Real Madrid throw in the last minute of 120. How many are going to be added on? Just to reiterate, we believe that it should be somewhere in the region of 5.
Yeah. I'll take one situation now for City, honestly I would, in what's left of the game, considering the effort they've had to give, and now they've got to continue to push. Can they just create one chance?
Long ball is launched forward. Foden chases after it. Immaculate control on his thigh. Vallejo is in there making life difficult, but City win the seconds with Sterling. 4 for Gundogan. It's going to be a good story if City rescue it now.
Come on, Jack.
Grealish has got it left-hand side of the penalty area. Gets inside the box. Can he get anything at all? He's got a corner.
Well, that'll do.
And how many minutes is it going to be? 3? Well, that is ridiculous. That's so conservative. When Eder Militao alone has received more than 3 minutes of treatment.
Yeah, exactly. They know what they're doing. Don't worry about that.
Corner will be taken on the Manchester City left. What can they do from here? Swung inside the box, Diaz going up for it. First contact from a Real Madrid player. Held back in by Cancelo. Fernandinho over the top. Sterling just checks his run, doesn't go for it, and the loose ball breaks out of play. Goal kick. And it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. There's still a little bit of time, but it feels as though their race is well and truly run. It's a goal kick which will be taken by Thibaut Courtois. And Manchester City's need is urgent and desperate. They have to score, and there's next to no time to do it.
Just seeing images of Pep Guardiola on our screen from our commentary position. What must be going through his mind?
Well, he won't be sleeping tonight. He won't be sleeping tomorrow, I wouldn't imagine either. This is chastening. It hasn't happened yet. Not quite. Bernardo Silva back to his goalkeeper. 90 seconds remain. Edison urging everybody to get upfield. Long left-footed ball forward from him. Going up for it is Zinchenko. Might bounce down for Ferland Mendy, who gets it clear out of play. A City throw, but inside their own half, over on the far touchline. Ruben Diaz takes it. Not even convinced that was not a foul throw, but it wasn't given. Gundogan for Bernardo Silva. Silva on the edge of the centre circle. Played forward towards Sterling. Back for Ruben Diaz. Diaz turns his man. We're in the final minute of added time at the end of extra time. Fernandinho going up for it. Vallejo heads it away. City must score. Cancelo, Bernardo Silva. Can they create one last opportunity? Not with a ball in like that. It was too low, too flat, not hard enough. And he's cleared. And it goes through for Edison. And we've got 40 seconds left. And Edison punts it forward again towards the edge of the penalty area. And it's flicked on away from Cancelo, and Courtois comes out, claims it, and that is going to be that.
Got to get around the goalkeeper. When you're knocking the ball long and Ruben Diaz is going for it, you've got to get around Thibaut Courtois. He's the one person you just don't want to have the ball.
Courtois gets it forward. He'll go straight through for Edison. How long left on the clock? 10 seconds. Referee says that'll do. Real Madrid have pulled off one of the most miraculous escapes in Champions League history. But for the heroes dressed in white, there have to be chastened villains. And Manchester City will look at that and will wonder quite how it slipped away in the manner that it did. Real Madrid, going into the last minute of the 90, needed 2 goals to stay in the competition. They produced some extraordinary heroic comebacks in previous rounds, but they had nothing on this. They scored on 90. They scored on 90 plus 2, and a Karim Benzema penalty in extra time has seen Manchester City eliminated. It was a night where City provided tenacity, where it looked as though another 0-0 draw in Madrid was going to get the job done, just as it had done across town 3 weeks ago. Tenacity, yes. Virtuosity, no. City in the final, no. Just not to be. And they're beaten at the semi-final stage by Real Madrid again.